So if this is about competition, let us have competition.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council, and we are so pleased to have back in the driver's seat RHETRI. RHETRI, welcome, buddy. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm back. I have to send my praise and thanks out to this community for being super supportive. As you guys know, my mother passed away. Sorry, I almost got choked up there. So everyone just like sending me DMs, like sending me all the stuff that you guys did, like it meant a lot. I did need some time off because it hit me harder than I thought it was going to. But I'm back. I'm ready to work and, you know, put in the work and try to forget about everything else, because this gaming is an escape, right? Gaming is something that a lot of us use to escape what's going on in our real lives. And yeah, so I just want to thank everyone that's here right now and that reached out to me in the DMs. This community is awesome. Another thing I have to say, I'm not going to be on the Xbox Factor podcast anymore. That is kind of related to family stuff, but it's actually more related to me trying to grow Game Pass Daily, that channel. I'm going to try to expanding and get some people to work with me as well, because I want to take content creation seriously, and I don't want to mess around no more. So and dipping my toe in it too much, and I want to go full bore. So that's what I'm doing on my end, in case you guys were wondering why I was crazy enough to leave such a great podcast and such great people. It's because I want to do my own thing. I want to, you know, make it work as much as possible. But let's move on from that. We got a lot of topics to talk about, and we got great guests. So Dave, who we got here?
Oh, well, right before I introduce them, I do want to say this community supports you and everything you do, and we're going to be there to get you where you need to be on your own channel, as well as he's still being here, folks. He's not leaving here. He likes me too much.
I promised. I promised I was not. Dave's like, you're not leaving me too, are you? No.
Well, you know, big shout out to Mr. Boomstick, because he definitely gives a lot of people the opportunity to get their feet wet and to get into the field and get going. And he's amazing content provider. And of course, he'll be around. And he was a guest here not too long ago, and he will probably be back before you know it. And I'm pretty excited about it. We have a returning guest, then we have a first-time guest on this show that we've been wanting to have on for a long time. First, I'm going to jump to OneBadMutha, because he is the second time here, and he is absolutely awesome. We had such a great time with him last time, and I don't think it's been just a little over a month since he was on last time, and I'm like,
wasn't that long ago.
Can you come back again? We had a great time with you, and he was graceful enough to come back. Dude, thank you so much for being here, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I the reason I'm back is, I did have a lot of fun last time I came on the show. And like I said, and I tell some of my other buddies that do podcasts, I do get the invites, and I always appreciate when somebody thinks of me, or they think I'm going to add, make a better program.
Some value.
So always appreciate the thoughts. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I got a couple of kids. I got a real job, and it's just a lot of things to juggle, but it's always a pleasure. It's always a treat when I'm able to just sit down, just kind of shoot the shit with you guys for a couple hours, especially right now. There's more going on these days. It's and I think, there's been a lot of drama the last couple of years, I feel like, in gaming. And I feel like we're finally, we still got it just there for fun, so we can make fun of people. But, the nice thing is that it feels like we're about to enter, really start to enter that phase of the next gen that's kind of been on delay because of the pandemic and everything. I feel like it's about to start here. It's kind of started for me, recently with Baldur's Gate, but also, Starfield coming up. So can't wait to talk about that. And then finally, RHETRI, I did not know that your mom passed away. So wanted to offer my condolences, man. Really sorry about that.
Awesome. See, good guy. Love it. I love having you on here, man. And this is a cat. I know him as Tony, Big Plume from Big Plume Network, or the Plume Network now, as it's known. Tony, man, thank you so much for being here. I love your content, your daily content, Monday through Friday. It's the first thing I watch. And I watch it religiously because it's you get me on track with what's going on in gaming. So welcome, sir. Appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you inviting me on. I'm very excited to be here. I know we've been trying to get me on here for a couple of weeks. My summer in Canada, we have to hibernate for the majority of the year with all the snow and stuff. So in the summer, I play baseball and I play games on Sunday nights, some days or some weeks. So it's been tough for me to be able to get on here. So happy to be here. Very excited to talk about all this stuff. Lots of stuff for leading into probably the most exciting time in few months of video games that I can think of in the last little while. So excited to get into that. And as well, RHETRI, I didn't know about your mother, so my condolences with that. I know it's probably, brother. I appreciate you guys having me.
Awesome. Oh, man, like I said, appreciate you being here. And welcome out to the over 55 people in the chat so far. We are definitely going to build that up tonight. I guarantee it's going to be a packed house here before long. Mm-hmm. And, of course, if you have questions or comments, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to them. Or if you want, we do also take super chats as well. But they're not necessary. So it's just if you decide you want to, cool, we appreciate it. But I don't want you thinking like, they're not going to talk about what I want to talk about if they don't do a super chat. No, that's not what we're about here.
Nope.
We're about having fun. We do have one thing, though. We do have membership, a lot of different levels, but we do have I guess we would call it a starter level now.
Yeah.
It's we call it the droid, and it's 99 cents.
Sorry,
if you
I just love that you
member.
named it the droid. It's
you
just
love it?
Funny to me.
I love it.
Yeah.
But with that, just to give you a shout out or check here, you will also have access to these really cool emojis. Dun, 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 dun. Boom.
All kinds of cool emojis.
There you go. Plus, we're going to have, we have what we call membership special shows that are done on Saturday. And we've got a new one coming up next Saturday, a week from yesterday. And that is going to be with Wilmy Hood and Scrub Nurse from Gaming Beyond the Box, because their show is actually going on right now. And so we could never have them on as a regular guest.
Exactly.
So we're like, dude, we got to have you on the bonus show.
Yeah.
So that's
love Wilmy. Love Wilmy's memes. He's got the best memes in the business. So yeah, we had to get him on here for sure. And yes, Def Leopard, he asked me if I was drinking some spirits. Yes, I am. I'm drinking. There's a little bit of gin in this. I'm not gonna lie. Yes,
I love it. I love it. And also, here you go, RHETRI. Read that out real quick.
Nice. Pat F became a YouTube member. Awesome.
Yay. Thanks, buddy.
Welcome,
we appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Membership has its privileges, as they say. Oh my goodness, we got another one. We'll get to this one real quick, and then we'll get to RHETRI's first question.
Yeah,
from our buddy
Silent Cypher, my buddy, and Plume's buddy from the Xbox International podcast with the crazy Lou and Sour Blow. $2 super chat. Shout out to the awesome panel. You guys rock. Yes, we do rock. Thank you, Silent. And yeah, we were playing some scary games last night. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, that game, I'm a pussy, man. That game scares the crap out of me. I'm okay with being the killer, but man, when I'm a victim, I don't like it. Like I was live streaming too, and I was almost getting killed, and it was such a bitch. I'm like, I don't like it. I'm literally like yelling at I'm like, why did I choose this? But it's a ton of fun if you get a good group of people to play games like Dead by Daylight, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those are games that you definitely need a group of people, because oh my god, we had so much fun last night. So shout out to Cypher for joining us and the group that was there. Galveston was playing with us, RHJ was playing with us, my buddy Jim was playing with us, Silent Cypher's brother was playing with us, Covert Reaper as well. So yeah, the game is definitely crazy. Def Leopard, I'm enjoying it, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later as well. But yeah, good times.
Awesome. Well, welcome out to the over 70 people in the chat now. This is awesome. RHETRI, I'm gonna put up your first question. I'm gonna let you read it off and go to who you want to first.
Sure, I'll start with Plume, and the question we always ask. Oops, I double clicked on that. Sorry. What games are you? I double clicked the mouse. Giggity. What games are you playing? Are there any shows too? I always like to, because I don't want this podcast to just be just gaming. Obviously, I'm an Xbox guy, but I also like to see like if you guys are watching any weird TV shows or movies, because I'm a big TV show and movie guy. Of course, Dave definitely is. You can see all the posters behind him. So what games are you playing, Plume, and any TVs and movies that are catching your interest?
For games, I've been playing a ton of Halo Infinite recently. The game has me hooked again. Like I was one of those people who played it a bunch at the start and then fell off, and I thought, oh, it's still there's no content. Then I jumped back in during season 4, and it's phenomenal. They've really brought that game back. It's great. So I play it almost every day now. At least get a couple matches in there, including all my weeklies, the most recent events. I'm going back now and trying to finish all the battle passes that I haven't finished yet. And like you, I played Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the XBI crew on Friday night, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy that game as much as I did, because I'm not like the biggest like horror guy.
I'm right there with you. I think it's better than I expected it to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way better. It's very intense, scary. I only played as the victims because we had 4 of us, and you can only have 3 people if you're the family. Right. So I was just always trying to escape the whole time, but it was awesome. Like lots of funny moments when you can't get out of the basement, you're just running in circles, and it's terrifying.
That basement is a bitch, dude. Like I cannot get out of it. A little tip for anyone who decides to play that game: do not listen to the developers when they tell you the setting for the darkness level, your gamma setting. Crank it, because it is so dark in that game, you won't be able to see shit. So little tip there, but yeah, definitely a good game. Any shows or any other games you're playing outside of Texas? Or
well, I don't. With everything I do, it's like hard for me to sit down and watch any TV shows. I watch wrestling, I watch AEW. That's pretty much it right now. And then whenever like hockey and football starts, I'll be jumping and watching that. But that's all I have time in terms of like TV and movie stuff right now.
Oh, that's awesome for your wrestling kick.
Yeah,
that's right. He's Canadian too. He has to watch hockey. He literally has to. But
I got my Habs cup here too.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just did my fantasy football draft, and it's not looking good. But I watched the
2 of those coming up in the next week or so. So I have to start studying.
Yep, absolutely. OneBadMutha, games that you're playing, sir.
Yeah, well, that's kind of easy. It's been a Baldur's Gate sprint / marathon. Nice. Because I'm trying to get through it before Starfield comes out, which is it's just kind of a daunting thing. I'm over 60 hours in that game right now, and I'm not even halfway, so I don't know. I'm probably not going to make it. So that's been taking up most of my time, but it's nice to hear. Like I'm glad to hear you jumping in on Halo again, Plume. I still that is still my game of all. Halo is still my IP of all time, and I always play it regardless of what else is in the what else is in my mix. I always go back to some of it. And I agree. Like the content right now is the best. Like I really, now you think back, like what if they would have launched a year later? Because where it's at now is aside from the amount of players, it's as good as it's ever been. I mean, at least since 343's taken over. When you look at the multiplayer, the content, especially now with the PvE coming out soon, like it is in a really good spot. And hopefully that continues to pick up some momentum, because that's always going to be. I'm always going to have a bias, a soft spot for that. Having success.
Yeah, I'm right with you on that when it comes to Halo. The huge soft spot for me. So it's one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I think Halo Infinite has the best gameplay in the entire series in terms of gunplay and everything.
100% agree with that. I think a lot of
that.
People would agree with that sentiment. Yeah. Be honest with you. Like I don't think 343's issue was really ever like gameplay mechanics or anything. I think they've perfected it, to be honest with you. I think Infinite is great. I am seeing a weird resurgence, and I don't know if it's just my Twitter timeline, but I feel like a lot of people, I keep seeing like kind of like Plume was saying, like he went back to it. I keep seeing people go, I'm going back into Halo Infinite. It's really great. For whatever reasons. But season 3, since season 3 of Halo came out, I think they have had a resurgence of good content, at least.
Mhm.
Plus, it opened up the whole like community building the maps, and the community maps coming out too, which obviously helps as well to have more content for people to play, more maps, because that was the issue from the get-go, in my opinion, was just lack of maps and lack of variety. So
well, and the crazy thing
know.
these days, and I think the thing that kind of put like I think maybe takes some people who've been away from it for so long, takes them back a little bit, is just how high quality these Forge maps are. I mean, they're very close to developer maps. You know, some of them sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes you can, but a lot of them are just so well done. You don't really, you're not wishing, you know, you don't go, oh, I just wish there's more of this developer made maps, because as long as they play well, and most of them look pretty good, and there's still a lot of potential because of that, especially once they come out with this PvE stuff. If the rumors and, you know, all the kind of the things they've been hinting at are all end up being true, there'd be a lot of content combined when you start combining the community. So I look forward to, I mean, I know this isn't really the Halo podcast today, but I do look forward to, I am looking forward to that. I think it might be a topic again, hopefully in the next few months. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe with certain affinity, maybe a little battle royale. Yeah. That'll definitely get me back into it. Halo's one of those things. It's like, I was talking to someone today on Twitter actually about the space that I have on my hard drive on the Xbox, and there's certain like multiplayer games almost never, like ones that I really love, like Halo. It's never going to leave my Xbox. I'm never going to uninstall it. It's always going to be sitting there, right? So in case I need to go back into it, which is what I do. I kind of dip in and dip out of Halo when the seasons come in. But yeah, I see a resurgence happening. It feels like it, at least in my small world. But I don't know if that's reality. But that's kind of what I'm seeing. Yeah. Def Leppard saying I'm going between MCC and Infinite. Yeah, I haven't gone back to MCC, but
there's a lot of stuff.
I don't normally go back to very old games unless they are remastered or remade. But I know a lot of people. MCC, I mean, MCC is a perfect example of 343 just giving a ridiculous amount of content and just not giving up in the game, and that community's thrive for it. So
for sure,
good example right there.
I'll jump in and say that. Welcome, over 100 people in chat already. God, thank you so much for you guys being here. This is awesome. There's so many people I can't mention everybody, so please, if I don't mention your name, don't take offense to it. It's just a matter of, oh my gosh, we got Tay Talks, and it was just awesome. I'm going to reach out to him soon to get an interview, hopefully. Sarah Blow, Silent Cypher, Def Leppard, Talus Ray, WebDave. Oh, it's me. It's good. Dusty's in the chat. Thanks, Dusty. I'm just kidding, of course. We got is it Abdel? 114. If I mispronounce it, I apologize. OCD Gamer. I mentioned Silent Cypher. Gosh, he's on there a lot. Jeez.
Yeah, he talks a lot.
Just kidding. He looks like Timmy.
Just kidding, Cypher.
Love Timmy's in there. Big Mad Mo. Love it. Silent Blow. Def Leppard. Just so many great people. C Money. So awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, and our good buddy. Oh gosh, guess who's here? Look at that one. You have to read that one.
He's back. I knew he'd be back. He was in my live chat last night. Not named this. I know your real name. Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account. The only things I've bounced back and forth on this year is the FTC and the CMA. There you go. We can always count on you for the laughs. Appreciate it. Oh, there's this other personality. FarQ. Dave is being forgetful. I'm worried.
I'm sorry, FarQ. What'd you say? All I can say is FarQ.
Fuck you, sir.
Oh goodness. One thing I do want to call out too is that normally at this time, Fonz's show would be going on as well. He's taking some time off to be with his family in to see his dad, who is unfortunately sick. A lot of stuff going around. It just happens. Life is real for everybody. So, but big shout out to him. We love Fonz, and one of these days we're gonna have him on, probably on our bonus show. So Fonzarelli, we love you, man. And anyway, thanks everybody for being here, and stick around, join us, have fun, get in on the conversation. Have something you want to talk about, let us know. Super chat, and then we're on to the next one.
Silent Cypher, $2 super chat. Says, I'm not wrong. I do talk a lot. Yes, that's okay. I do. I'm worse than you are, Cypher. So I don't know why I said that about you. So you're
we'll
good.
put it
You're
this
good.
way: if Silent Cypher did super chats every time he talked, we could retire.
Oh, we'd be killing it. Yeah, we'd have boom money. I do want to say before I forget, congrats to C Money. Well deserved. He's taken my place on the Xbox Factor podcast. Awesome dude. So make sure to go support. He does a lot of gaming. He does podcasts and stuff with his family. Like very cool, unique content. So make sure to check out C Money's stuff. And he's going to be starting on the Xbox Factor podcast on Tuesday. So congrats to C Money on that. That's awesome, man. Couldn't have gone to a better dude, honestly. I'm so glad that Boom reached out to you and brought you onto the panel. So congrats, brother.
There you go. Are we going to talk some Starfield?
We're going to talk some Starfield. So that's our first subject, obviously. That's what everyone's talking about. Starfield went gold. You know, people were talking like, oh, is Starfield in trouble? Like, because it hasn't gone gold yet. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. No, dude, come on. I'm sorry, I can't. This is the internet, guys. So we're gonna talk about the hype surrounding this game, and honestly, like our individual hype, like what you guys think about Starfield. If you're excited for it, your thoughts, your opinions, your personal hype for the title itself. We know Starfield is I think it's like 100 and like a little around 100 gigs for the download for Xbox. It was 140 for PC, which I did today. So that thing is hefty. But I'll start with you, OneBad. What's your excitement level for Starfield? Are you hyped about this game? Is this one that you're looking forward to? Are you a Bethesda stan, or what's your thoughts about Starfield and all the hoopla surrounding it right now?
Well, you know, it's like this is probably one of the best gaming timelines for me, or at least I think has the potential to be, because you know, going as far back as a couple decades ago, back when I used to be a PC gamer before I bought the OG Xbox and kind of switched over to console for a couple decades. You know, Western RPGs were the thing for me. You know, Western RPGs and shooters, kind of like I came from that old school PC Master Race environment, and so you know, when everybody else was still playing, you know, the GoldenEye and you know what, and you know, just the kind of RPGs you had on that side, you know, I was experiencing Baldur's Gate, the Fallout, you know, back on those, you know, back before anybody on console knew what those were. Right. So this game, and just lately, like that whole bug has been back. Like this year, I've backlogging. I mean, I just a couple months ago, I beat Wasteland 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 I was playing, and now it's Baldur's Gate. So this is an exciting time if you're a Western RPG fan. But what's going
to happen at Baldur's Gate for you? Like, are you gonna?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to hit pause on that one. I'm guessing because.
Yeah, I mean, I got over.
That's why I didn't mess with. That's why I didn't F with Baldur's Gate. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm still in Diablo world too, so I'm just like, that's too much.
Right,
and that's a lot to take on.
And I'm trying to sprint through that before I get to this, and then it's like, yeah, you don't want to like do a sprint after a sprint, and that's not a sprint. Right. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. Absolutely, it's a long marathon.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen because it is a story. You know, it is a narrative-driven experience, and you really don't want to take a giant break in that, and that's what's going to happen, I think, to everything when Starfield comes out. So to answer your question, short answer, long. Starfield is probably the most anticipated game on my side. You know, in a lot, anything that's not, because every time Halo comes out, that's always a an event for me, regardless of how they turn out in hindsight or whatever. Leading up, those launches are always I always get hyped about those. But aside from that, Starfield's probably the most hyped I've been about a game since, I don't know. I really can't, because you know, it's even some of the other big games like Elden Ring, I was excited for that. but I don't think I had this sort of expectations leading into it. Right.
Right.
I think a lot of that caught me like after the fact. You know, it was like, wow. This is
well, I think it did for God at least 12 million people with Elden Ring because it was just a surprise at how good it was, and there was a lot of first timers for Elden Ring 2.
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of caught a lot of people off guard. There was a lot of FOMO. I mean, I got Elden Ring just because everyone was talking, giving it 10s, and I was like, all right, I got to try this thing. And it was excellent.
Right. And this, you know, I'm not asking anybody to you know, break NDAs and stuff. And I don't want to know too much anyways. Like I really, Bethesda games are best to go in really almost knowing as little as possible outside of like the setting or whatever, right? You know, you kind of learn about the systems and things like that. And then you're just like, okay, I've had enough. The 45-minute demo they showed was enough. I don't even click on a lot of videos for them right now. It's
crazy.
Like, oh, here's some theories, and you know, it's like, I don't want your theories. I want to, you know, figure this out for myself.
Right,
so,
yeah.
But you know, the thing is, you know, we know who's got the codes, and you know, and we know what they're doing all day. So I just ask people like how their days are going. You know,
is your day still good? Are you still enjoying your time today?
Their days are gorgeous. Yeah. They're wonderful, and and it just, you can just feel something potentially special coming on with this to that Elden Ring level. I think this is going to be up there along with Elden Ring, and I think that in terms of legs, that like this is one of those games that is probably going to have more mind share in 2024 than it does in 2023, as crazy as that sounds. I just think people are going to be talking about this and discovering things in this game. We're not even into the mods yet, right? Like, but people are going to be like, I feel like people are going to have entire channels dedicated. There's going to be people that are going to blow up in social media because of this game, covering this game. And just the endless amount of content in it. So I really can't think of another a non-Halo game that I've been this excited about. I'm trying to go back to like the 360 maybe, or you know, like, but I don't know. It's maybe Gears when it first came out, like, but I think this is gonna be bigger than that. I think this is gonna be a lot bigger than that. So couldn't be more excited right now.
Nice. I mean, I have to agree with you there. Plume, buddy, are you a Bethesda guy? What's your hype level for Starfield? Like, what are your thoughts about you know, the crazy amount of hype that's going on the internet right now for this game?
Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for this game. I can't wait for this to come out, and I'm with you, OneBadMutha. Like, the 45-minute video, I don't want to hear anything else until the game drops. I know people are hinting that there's nothing else. That was 45 minutes. There's a Gamescom showcase, I guess, coming up this week. I will most likely tune into, but I'm sure it's going to be nicely cut so they don't give away anything, probably just more into like the mechanics and everything. And I was just watching the video up on the podcast right now. Like, I forgot how good, like, even the gunplay and the combat and everything looks like it's just so much fun. So yeah, I'm extremely excited. I mean, for me, Bethesda's, I am definitely a fan. Like, Morrowind was one of the first Western RPGs that I went over to my friend's house who had an OG Xbox, and he was playing it, and it kind of just blew my mind. So I couldn't wait until I got an Xbox to be able to play it. So it kind of goes all the way back to then for me. And then like Oblivion, obviously, and Skyrim still lasting. People are still playing. I just saw a new mod for it with like brand new graphics. It's crazy what the mod community is able to do. So I'm extremely excited for this, because I think this is a generational RPG. We'll be talking about Starfield in 10 years from now, still about new things. People are discovering new things people are making. And it's just in a very exciting time, because I can't remember the last time a release this big has come out. The only other one that has me as excited this year, not maybe a little bit less now as I'm trying to like remember my feelings, was I'm a huge Zelda fan. So Tears of the Kingdom this year release was big for me, but I feel like I'm more excited for Starfield because it is a brand new IP. It's something we haven't seen yet. It's coming from Bethesda. It's Todd Howard, all that stuff, right? And from everything we're seeing online, with minus the spoilers, just the hints, people, like you said, people's days are going well. So I think
Yeah.
this is going to
a lot of
impress
fun.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
They seem to be having fun every day. I don't know what they're doing.
I like,
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. You guys would probably remember. I think Plume was even maybe one of your videos, but one of the guys went, like, said 15 hours without a bug. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Tyler McVickers, I believe.
Tyler, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for breaking your,
right.
Indian.
Thanks for sacrifice. Thanks for jumping on the grenade, Tyler.
But that's a big thing because I talk to obviously I talk in a lot of discords and things like that, and there's people that are like, oh, I'll jump on it, I'll play these other games right now and I'll jump on it after they fix the bugs. It's like, hey guys, it doesn't look like there's bugs, like it's time to, you might as well jump into this thing now. It's funny you're talking about Morrowind, and I don't know if anybody else here was playing Morrowind back in the day, but I remember, as an OG I got the OG Xbox. I didn't get the PS2 back then. I only could grab one, and I grabbed that. My ex, kind of had the purse strings set a little tighter. So I made my choice. I played Halo on a kiosk, and that was the end of it. That was my choice was made. And I remember we would just justify Morrowind is better than GTA. Remember that? It's like, you want real freedom, you got to play Morrowind. And it was something it's so weird because back then, that type of game was so janky for a console. It seemed too convoluted, too many things going on.
Too many systems. Yeah.
Systems and menus, and this would never work. Console gamers aren't into this. And then Oblivion came out. And I remember that to me, along with seeing the Gears, the first time they showed off Gears, but walking out in Oblivion, I think that was the first time I was playing a game and I was like, oh, this is next gen. When you first walk out into the open field, right? And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, because it's been a long time since we've had that. We've crossed the next. We're on the next threshold of what gaming can be. So
yeah, I think it's that sense of discovery right now that has me getting so excited, because there's so many games coming out in October alone that I want to play, but I just feel like I'm going to be stuck in this world, and I may not even complete half of the quests by the time November rolls around. I'll just be exploring and everything and just getting lost in the world, which is something I can't remember back to another game that's really given me this feel so far. I mean, Elden Ring was very cool. I liked it a lot. I was kind of like a lot of people out there. I played Dark Souls Remastered before Elden Ring came out, so I kind of had a feel of the Souls style of game, but I wasn't a huge Souls fan whatsoever. I was actually somebody who, before playing Dark Souls Remastered, had no interest in playing these games. I just thought that they wouldn't be for me, but then I kind of understood what they were all about, and then I played Elden Ring, and that sense of exploration kind of hit me, and I feel like Starfield may be on that next level with just the scope that we've seen so far, which is why I'm extremely excited for it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And a couple things, I think a couple things that are going to maybe make this a next level for this type of game. Well, number one, there's no other Bethesda likes, right? There's other Western RPGs, other games with lots of systems or exploration, but really, when you think about the scope of a Bethesda game, it's not you hear about Souls likes, right? People that kind of imitate that, and we got
Lies of P coming up.
Yeah, Lies of the P, Lords of the Fallen.
Yep.
And I don't think any of them do it as well as Miyazaki. I think he's in class of his own. But I don't even feel like we get good knockoffs of Bethesda so probably the closest was Obsidian's Vegas, but that doesn't really count because that was in conjunction with Bethesda using their game engine, going off of their assets and all that other stuff. Nobody else has if you are into those games, there's nothing else that's going to kind of come in and really quench that thirst or give you an appetizer or anything to kind of cross that gap. But when you go back to some of the old games like Skyrim, the combat really is kind of a little janky. Outdated, right? Yeah, it's a little bit outdated.
It's outdated. Yeah.
Fallout 4 got better with combat, but this seems like two things. It's the
brand new.
The combat is actually
is what for me as you guys know, you've been playing Western RPGs forever from Bethesda, and that before we saw the combat, that's what had me the most worried by leaps and bounds, because I was not a fan of like Skyrim combat. I was not a fan even of Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 was massively improved from the previous Fallouts. But man, you're watching the combat on this, and it does not look like Bethesda combat, which is a good thing, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
And look, and again, you know, we talk about people having good days. I think people are having a lot of fun. Just a hunch, a gut feeling. People are having a gut
I had
feeling.
a vision.
And people are having a lot of fun with the moment to moment. And if you can combine that moment, that's the thing. Like the moment to moment in Bethesda games has always been the systems, the loot, the exploration, the making the choice. Like when it's been at its best is like giving that choice and consequence, which you're going to have all that. But if you can now add in moment to moment gameplay that's fun, and then you tie in all the sandbox things to that, so all the versatility that you can add to that, it really puts it in a class, again, a class of its own. And then you know you add in the last thing is like the visuals, like the Bethesda games usually. I mean, I know Oblivion was amazing for its time, but I think we're back to that, because I thought Fallout 4 was not visually that impressive.
I mean, it's Fallout. Like Fallout's palette is just, it's not. This is all inspiring. This is Interstellar, the movie, in a video game. Like it's that beautiful. Like this. I'm saying right now, art direction. Starfield's gonna win best art direction, just like Elden Ring did. I'm calling that. That's happening.
Good call on that one for sure. I want to shout out to all the people in the chat. Over 150 people in chat right now. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you. Retri, there's 2 super chats we need to read back to back, because the second one's pretty pertinent.
Yeah, I'm gonna take over the gameplay too, Dave. If you want to take that off, because of what Cypher is putting up right now. Silent Cypher with the $2 super chat. Starfield has minimalist menu screen. 0.2 out of 10. Yes. So
and here's the next one that you need to read, the super chat. Just exactly what we were talking about.
All right, Sour Blow, another Xbox International podcast coming out tonight. Support their buddy here. Sour Blow 18, $2 super chat. Not true. They're clearly planets full of bugs. It's a bug planet. Yeah, I think that's where he was going. Yeah. Hold on. There was a comment in here that's crap. I missed it. Or what the hell was it? I totally lost it. That I'll blame.
Get the gist of it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for the super chats, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out and speaking your piece about this game. I just want to share my screen real quick. Let me hopefully it doesn't screw up, because sometimes when I do stuff, it does weird shit. But I want to talk about this jackwagon. Me being nice. This guy, Grum's, ex Blizzard dev, and he was the CEO of Plume. What the heck? What was was it Red 5? Was that what the name?
I forget. It was like
it was like Red something, wasn't it?
I forget. I just watched. Honestly, I literally just watched a video on him today too.
I did too, and I already forgot what the hell it was. But anyways, this guy making fun of the Starfield start screen, the menu screen. Listen. This is what he says. You can see it right here. The start screen of a game can reveal a lot about how rushed the team was and how much pride they took in their work. I'm sorry, what? Starfield's start screen either shows hasty shipping deadlines by a passionate team, overworked, now he's claiming crunch, or a team that didn't care. I was maybe okay with this whole thing up until or a team that didn't care. I'd be like, motherfucker, what'd you just say? Like, come on, dude. Are you kidding me? This is Bethesda. First of all, this idiot. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Silent Cypher became a YouTube member. Wait, Silent, you weren't a YouTube member already? What's going on?
He was. Thank you, brother. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Let me show you some other really crappy ones. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Look, that was a piece of crap game, right? Remember how awful that game came out?
Shit at all about
Boo.
that. I wonder if that did.
Here's one. You're gonna love this one. Not only did they do it once, they did it twice. It's a fucking window. It's a window. Come on. I mean, it's fine. I get it. There's some symbolism in that. I understand why they did the window.
Didn't they do it 3 times?
Yeah. Well, probably, yeah. Right. So many remake, times I lost count. Thank you, Plume, for that's. You're right. Another great game. This is a game I absolutely love. I know I'm an Xbox guy, but I'm gonna show some PlayStation love. But let's just, for comparison's sake, here's another one. It's a fucking sword in the middle of the field. By the way, one of the most beautiful games, Ghost of Tsushima, I've ever played. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love this game. But dude, it doesn't get any more. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Here's another one. Game of the year.
That's the most simple one.
That's actually a really, really good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and you got Red Dead Redemption here, and my screen froze, so I don't know what's going on. My computer doesn't like when I do things. But yeah, guys, like, is this let me see if I can fix my
just turn your camera off.
Let me stop it. Yeah. That didn't do it.
That's all right.
All right, I guess we'll stick with that for now.
Well, let me bring this up real quick because you asked me to add this to the conversation.
Was this
the reply from Pete Hines?
Yes, please.
Pretty hilarious what Pete had to say.
I love what Pete had to say.
Let's see here.
Good on you, Pete. Ridiculous. Just, jealousy is a stinky cologne, and this guy is just showing his jealousy.
I think he's just putting everything he can out there to get it to draw.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I did see another post back in the day. I didn't go down his timeline, but I'm sure it's full of BS. Pete Hines, or they designed, he's and replying to Grums, or they designed what they wanted, and that's been our menu for years, and was one of the first things we settled on. Having an opinion is one thing. Questioning our developers' care because you would have done it differently is highly unprofessional. Coming from another, in quotes, dev. That's a dig. That's a dig, Pete.
Yeah, he's not.
Dig. Yeah, quote unquote dev. Former dev.
He did the same thing with the whole Starfield going gold thing. He called it out, which is great to see him just kind of nipping all the stupidity in the bud before anyone sits there wondering whether there's any issues going
on. I did not see that one. That what the heck? Where was it? Hold on, I want to find something real quick. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm doing this to you.
No worries. No worries.
Where was it?
And if you want to, you can always jump out and jump back in too if you want to try that to fix your camera. I'll try that. I'll try that in a second. There's also some super chats too. So.
Yeah, why don't let me while I'm scrolling through Twitter like a moron. Let me read this super chat. Kingfish 737 $2 super chat. Hype level is higher than this 100+ degree weather. Oh, Kingfish, I don't know where you're at, brother, but I'm in South Carolina, so it sounds like today the real feel was 105, and that was not fun. Let's see, Silent Cypher with a $5 super chat. When Pete Hines comes out to play, you done messed up and poked the behemoth bear. Probably spoilers to the conversation. Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I can't find the frickin' tweet. What the hell? Basically, so this CEO, Grums, which Mark, what is his name? Mark, whatever the hell it is. He had spent, so he has his own game, and I should, I stupidly didn't get his screen for his game that he made that ended up failing. Shocker.
Firefall.
Was it Firefall? Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
And it's fucking just like the damn Starfield one in a way. Like, it's very, very plain. It's very simplistic. There's nothing crazy about his start screen that he made. But this dope spent over $1 million. Someone was saying anywhere from $2 to $3 million on a bus anyways to advertise for his game. He made like a giant gaming bus essentially. And it had like a bunch of PCs like inside the bus, and it ended up like not working. So long story short, from what I heard, that bus is like sitting in a warehouse right now, and not doing much of anything. But I just thought this was just ridiculous. Like, what sucks now is that this douche nugget just got paid for that tweet. Make no mistake,
Right.
he had over.
I didn't respond to him.
I was stupid. I couldn't help myself. But this guy had like over. I usually am really good. I usually tell people just ignore him, just shut up, and you're just gonna help him out. And I literally helped him out. But yeah, he had like over 5 million views or impressions on it, so he's gonna get paid for his unbelievably dumb tweet.
That's probably all the money he's making right now anyway. So,
I ain't good on him, man.
OneBadMutha, go ahead and go what you were going to say, and RHETRI, jump out and jump back in and see if that fixes you.
Yeah, let me try that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, if you saw his history, I did decide to click on some people kind of pulling his history up. I'm like, all right, I'm just curious because obviously he was held up in some regard here recently, right? Like, wasn't he the one who basically
jump out completely, like leave the thing in and come back into?
I got an idea. I can unplug. Go ahead, OneBad. I didn't mean. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But I think he was the guy who basically started the Illuminati thing, right? Like the whole
yes,
the Xbox Illuminati.
Oh no way, that was him.
That's
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, this is starting to make a lot of sense. Okay.
And he gets a lot of this. He was getting all this credibility initially because I was at Blizzard. I'm a developer and like I'm trying to think of the right way to put this because I do have obviously I'm guessing that most of us here we know people that are developers. We talk to people that are developers either in chats or discords or or just through making content, whatever. And I love to hear about their insights. Because you learn things when somebody's been in the industry that you won't. Just sitting on the outside, and sometimes it does break some of your assumptions and things like that. It's like you get more perspective and context. So all due respect, but even in my own field, even in every place I've ever been at, you don't have, just because somebody works in an industry doesn't make them an expert of an industry.
Bingo.
A lot of people basically know how to do whatever they are supposed to do. And some people don't even do well at that. And if you look at his history, he didn't even really do well at he was supposed to be, he was one of the founders of this company and basically ran it into the ground, or was, had, people.
Sounds like he was really bad with money. He's spending over $1 million on a bus for marketing. And I mean, a lot of his employees did not like him.
OneBadMutha, I'm going to have to push back on that. I have a YouTube channel and I am the king of YouTube.
Right.
Everybody down before me. Just kidding.
Well, you're the exception to the rule, dude.
Oh, there you go.
But
RHETRI, can you read that super chat before we get too far back?
Silent Cypher, $2 super chat. If you got no bus, you got no success. Hey, you know what? Like, the bus wasn't. Here's the thing. Like, when that was posted online, in my head, I'm going, where the fuck did I see? I've seen this thing before. And it's because I used to watch West Coast Customs like crazy. And apparently they're the ones who did it. So I'm like, I've seen this piece of trash before. Where did I see it? And someone had West Coast Customs. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
The magic bus.
So apparently it didn't even do what it was supposed to do. I'm guessing it was probably a lack of power on that thing, because it was a ridiculous amount of gaming stations on that. It was 2 rows of like, God, it might have been like 20 gaming stations inside that bus. But so I'll let you speak in a second, OneBadMutha, and let you finish your thought. I'm super sorry, but I did find the tweet from it was. So this is why I wanted to say this tweet, because it's funny and I like this guy. Fratinga played. If you guys ever seen, he does the fanboy videos, the anti fanboy videos, I should say. He wrote on Twitter. He goes, the idea of Grum's being a failed game developer that mismanaged hundreds of thousands of dollars for his game on a bus that he now has to live in and tweet from is so fucking hilarious. Shit should be a movie. It killed me. I'm just picturing this guy sitting on the bus that he has to live in because he fucked up bad.
Exactly.
I need to make this tweet so I can pay for the bus.
Exactly.
I
Right.
gotta make my bus payment. I don't want to repo my bus. Gotta welcome out to the chat. Why so serious?
Why so serious?
What's up,
I get
brother?
to play that just because he's here. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good name.
That is a good name.
I'll do this and I'll let you finish. Silent Cypher with a $5 super chat. Douche Nugget. That sounds like what McDonald's shifted to once the recession hit back in 2008 to save on chicken carcass pants. I'm sorry. That's hilarious. I'm sorry, one back. Go ahead. Finish.
No. Those were way much better comments than anything I have. But just to kind of finish the thought. So like the thing is, we talk to devs and a lot of them don't even agree with each other. Like I have today's show is not about Series S, but I heard from AAA devs that think the whole Series S controversy is just insane. Like they're like, we're scaling games lower than that thing. I don't, this doesn't make any sense. It's a bunch of bullshit or whatever. So like you hear, and obviously there's some that disagree, and there's you got different situations and all this stuff. But
yeah, but what, OBM? Every time I hear someone that talks trash, that is a dev, right? So we should respect them automatically, right? Bullshit. It's always a dev that made like a game that is like comparable to fucking Pong. Like it's never a dev of a game that anyone cares about. You know what I'm saying? That when they talk trash about the Series S, like it's not powerful enough, doesn't have enough memory, it's screwing over. And we look at their game and like, dude, that your game can play on a cartridge I used to blow into back in the day. Like your game isn't using all the features of the Series S anyway. So I don't know what you're talking about, because a lot of devs have said it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends on how they're developing or whatever, and what kind of I think the AAA devs, though, they are used to scaling across a bunch, the big studios, because the one I'm thinking about like works on a game that it's a really big AAA game, and it has to work on like everything, right? And it's way more demanding than a lot of games out there. So I the reason I just bring that up, and I think what's kind of interesting about this is it just kind of calls out, like, just because somebody says they're a dev, and then you go, and then sometimes I hear the narrative is like, well, you're saying something and a dev said otherwise, and you're not the expert.
Yes.
It's like, well, there's a lot more information out there. It's not this one person that's shit posting that happens to really just not even be a developer, but a PR person, or somebody who's not even doing the coding, or doesn't, work with the new tools, or works in a studio that's making, and again, I love independent games, but, is making something that's really, they're not cutting edge in technology and things like that. So, there's all that context. And I just think sometimes we go, oh, they're a dev, so shut up. It's like dev said it.
And I do see that. Like OneBadMutha, you're right. I see that when a dev speaks up on Twitter, everyone will attack someone who's arguing with them. We're like, you're an idiot. Like, why are you arguing with the dev? The dev is God. What the dev says is good as gold. And it's just not the case. When we find out, a half hour later, the guy was in flipping marketing,
or like yeah. And what I find the most interesting about this entire thing is every time we hear anything negative about the Series S, everyone jumps on it and talks on it. But think about this generation so far, the amount of games that have come out on the Series S that have been absolutely successful. 60 frames per second. There's 120 FPS games on the Series S. So obviously it has to do with, there's so many different factors. I'm not a dev, but like with the whole Baldur's Gate thing that people have been talking about, they literally came out and said, we didn't dedicate enough resources to optimizing this thing for the Series S. I'm sure the game is going to come out on Xbox and it's going to run fine and everything. It was just not a priority for them. Right. But I mean, nobody talks about, like, I'm looking at, there's a list, like, go to like Windows Central. They have a list of all of the games, 60 FPS, 120 FPS. The list is 120.
Huge. Yeah, 120 has more on Series S than PlayStation 5. Just saying.
Nobody talks about this. They only talk about the one random, like, I think it was like an art. I think one recently was like an art designer or something, not actually doing any of the coding and stuff, who came out. I don't know. I made videos on this stuff and I forget because there's
so many videos
to make. Yeah.
So much of the BS, it's easy to forget.
Yeah. But like, yeah. So
No, and you're right about that. And like, you know, like I have a buddy that like he said, again, who's in AAA development, and like he says like his peers or people that are like, oh shit, like I got this other thing now I got to optimize for. It's not that it's nothing, right? Like time is
right. I don't want to say optimization is nothing either,
right?
Because it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's the optimization. It's more time, and if you want to so it's context, right? Like if you want to talk about that, like if you have unlimited time, you're going to be able to figure out how to port
and budget.
And budget,
like Baldur's Gate, because that's not. I don't think they have them. They don't have the money like normal people do. So they did what a smart company would do, and they prioritized the PlayStation because of the user base. It just makes sense. It just makes
the
sense
lack
to
of
do
Starfield.
And the right, exactly.
Well, and the thing is, like, they are not they are a big developer, but if you think about their pipelines, how they've always delivered games, they've always focused all their effort on the PC. They get the PC out there, they polish the PC version, and then after some period of time, they go ahead and they start to do the ports for the consoles, and it usually comes out afterwards, right? This time they tried to hit everything at once, and it was the first time they did it, and they realized they were not going to, but they were not going to not put out the PC version before Starfield, which is smart business. The next in line, then we'll focus on the PlayStation because they don't have Starfield and they have a much bigger base than Xbox. And then we'll go over to this one that actually is going to take us more time to optimize and has a smaller base. So it makes sense, right? So you can say like indirectly, yes, indirectly the Series S has an impact. But my bet is that once the things come out there, they'll have all the features and all the other bullshit on there. So they're not like lying. It's not like it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just that they can't get into all the context, right? It's like, this thing is just it wasn't intentional. We had all the intention to release it on everything, but couldn't do it. And this is how it's going to work. So and I just think that again, like devs contradict each other too sometimes. Not everybody, they don't all agree, and
devs aren't created equal either. No. Like if look, I've dabbled into making my own games, and guess what? I'm not gonna be able to optimize crap because I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, not every dev is equal. And Pixelbit G brings up a good point. I didn't know this, and if this is true, that's a huge problem. He says Larian has a DX11 engine. The debate there for games ends there. I mean, if that's true, Pixelbit, that's a problem. Like if they're not using DX12, so
and that's the thing too. Like a lot of and this again, I'm hijacking your show. I apologize, but I missed the last few. But
hijack away.
The last thing I was going to kind of say on that note, and it wasn't today's topic, but just my understanding, and again, I'm not a dev either. I just try to pick up and try to use some logic and learn from people that are smart about this stuff. It sounds like, these series consoles were built with optimization was going to be based on them using a lot of tools that the devs really haven't been using. And part of the problem there is they have to start planning for that early in their pipelines, right? So a game like a Baldur's Gate 3, which has been in this, this early access for a long time. It's been, they made their decisions on how they're going to develop this game a long time ago, probably before there was really any of those, I know this gets memed to death, but before Microsoft finally got their shit together with their tools this generation, like that, it's going to be in a different state than a game that is built with all that in front of them, right? And kind of understanding that situation. So I think what we're going to see is that even though Starfield is a 30 FPS game, I think you're going to see that relatively it's going to do, again, just kind of hearing how people's days are going, that Series S is actually going to hold its own on this. So I think that, and just like it held its own on, I think like Forza Horizon, right? Like it did really well on that one too. So it just comes down to whether they are able to kind of like prioritize and kind of, be able to try to leverage some of the bespoke aspects of, getting the most out of this system.
All right. Time will tell. It's gonna come. The Xbox engineers are gonna work with the Larian team, and it'll come to Xbox eventually. We'll see what state it'll be in. I'm sure it'll be fine. I am excited. Part of me is like, that it didn't come to Xbox. I'm kind of glad because my back catalog was so bad that I was like, phew, like
Could
this
you imagine if it
another
launched
massive. Right. I know, exactly. That's why I feel bad for Liza P. Like, yeesh, I don't know.
What
I
are you thinking? Yeah.
I don't know what that game's gonna do, man. Like, maybe it's just because it's maybe a different audience, but I know a lot of people say like different audience, but I'm both of those audiences. So it is gonna affect, like, I'll be playing Starfield. I might have to skip out on Liza P and play it, put it in my back catalog with
it's in Game Pass. It'll be there for a while.
That's right. It'll be there for a hot minute, so we don't have to worry too much about that.
I always struggle with the what's a different audience thing. Like, it's one thing if you're talking like Mario versus Call of Duty, but if you look at the Venn diagram of core gamers, like we play, like most core gamers don't play just one genre, right? Like, and you start talking about a game that Liza P is basically an action RPG, and it's like, it's completely different than Starfield in some respects. But anytime you're talking about games that have different systems and like a lot of different builds and things like that, they kind of appeal to a lot of the same. Like, my guess is that a lot of people that are going to play Liza P would play a Starfield game, right? Maybe not vice versa, and that's the problem. So I think Liza P probably needs to get its ass, do what Alan Wake did, and move its ass out of there, and put itself in a better window. Because I want to play that, but I'm not gonna launch.
I want to welcome out the over 190 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much.
Share this out, guys. If you could share this out, I want to try to hit 200. We've never done it before, so
nice.
That would be cool.
And since you're here, if you don't mind, hit the like button. We got like almost 90 likes so far. We can try. We always
forget to do that stuff. So
we do forget to self promote. We're so into the gaming and
terrible at promoting. Fun. We're talking about marketing. We don't market ourselves. Yeah.
So Tony, did you have anything else you wanted to add to the conversation on this?
I don't know. I mean, like, the whole Grumps thing to me it's hilarious. Like, why are we talking about a start screen? It just,
I know.
I always question.
I mean, I like a good start screen, but but I'm not going to judge an entire game on it or the developers for that fact.
Yeah, to me, for start screens, it's like the music playing in the background is more important than the actual graphical design and where the start game button is, all that stuff. I don't really care about that, but I always, like, it's crazy. It seems like there are a bunch of like these different narratives trying to come in and try to make Starfield look worse than it is. I can't tell if this is just my Twitter feed that is, or X feed, whatever you want to call it, that is like curated towards me, and maybe that's not like the general lookout from that everybody is getting. But you think about like what Grumps is absolute absurdity, and he's trending. Everyone's talking about it because it's so dumb. You think about the IGN stuff. I mean, they put out another article about like there's no DLSS or something. We already knew that they had partnered with AMD, so it's not surprising whatsoever. It just keeps going on and on. I don't know why there are these negative narratives around Starfield. Like, this should be a game for most people who are into the RPGs. Everyone should be celebrating this game. Like, this is going to be an event, right? This isn't just like your average new game that's coming up. This isn't like, no offense to Liza P, but it's not like a Liza P release. Like, this is an event. So like I said, I don't know if it's just because my Twitter feed is curated, or if this is like,
if it's the broader audience. You don't know if it's the 1% or if everyone's actually gives a crap about it. And I agree with you. I'm with you, Plume. Like, sometimes I look at my feed and I'm like, why is everyone an idiot? And then I got to realize, like, nah, it's just my feed. Like, 80%, like, it's probably like the 20% or whatever. It's talking the BS. But I think it's probably way less than that. You're probably right, OneBadMutha. I'm probably giving them way too much credit.
Hey,
go ahead.
Sorry. Plume, if you don't mind, can you read what Sour had on the screen there? What did he say?
The only reason I watch Plume Network is because his intro theme. So not true.
No, actually, it is catchy, man.
I get that. I get those comments all the time. People are like, I listen to your video and then I'm singing the your intro theme all day. I'm just like,
oh, sorry. And not to change the subject, but you did add new artwork, your new logo. You got a new hat on and everything to your show, and I think they look fantastic. By the way, Are you going to make those available where you can
I have to. Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm trying to. I have a t-shirt and I have another hat as well. But yeah, I'm going to try to. Yeah, I'd love to make them available.
Yeah, well, we'll put this
we
way.
hit 200 live. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
wow.
that's good. 201. Yeah.
He's broke a record.
Nice. That's awesome.
so yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. This is awesome. I didn't mean to derail the show there real quick,
No,
but,
you're good, you're good.
It's one of those things where it's like it's I like to point out the people in the community and
100%.
And like I said, Plume has an amazing show that really is awesome. I know you're probably like, oh my god, this guy's tipping for me, but no, it's really really good.
You sipping for Plume. It was funny too. Like we did talk. Me and Dave talked about you, Plume, and Dave's like, I don't know if you know like Plume. I'm like, I was actually watching your stuff a long time ago, and to just say on like the content side and how small this community kind of can be sometimes. You're actually one of the people you're one of the reasons I wanted to make content, Plume, because I was like watching your stuff and I was like, I really like his news format, like the way he does things. I'm like, I think I can do that. So thank you. I've been ripping your stuff for a while now.
You're an inspiration, buddy.
You're an inspiration.
I appreciate that. It's good to hear. I mean, that's why I make content, to try to, if people enjoy it, that's why I make it, right? And to inspire people to make content, that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
We got a super chat too. Sorry.
Silent Cypher, $2 super chat. I'm personally a Plume fan because of his OnlyFans. Oh, he's got a OnlyFans too.
Right there.
That's the secret.
All I can
I'll DM you guys the link. It's private and secret. I'll DM you guys after the show.
Oh goodness.
Sean T said something that is very true, and unfortunately, and I know this because I worked in television for 18 years, but he says negative stories drive engagement, human nature.
Very true.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
And now that they're getting paid for it, like I was thinking as soon as the X Pay or whatever came out, I'm like, we thought Console Wars was bad. Oh
it's
my
gonna be
god,
it's gonna be so much worse. You're absolutely right, Plume. And people have been saying that on Twitter too. But like, you think it's bad now, guys? Wait, it's gonna get way worse. There's just gonna whatever flames the wars. People are gonna do it. Watch who's doing it. Watch who's doing it, because they're gonna be getting a lot of money for that.
Decided that after this show, I'm gonna put an X out.
Start being a dick.
No, we don't. About I'm gonna call out RHETRI.
Okay,
for slamming on Pong. You said Pong wasn't like it's a crappy little game. If it wasn't for Pong, mister, we wouldn't have video games to this day.
That's true. Hey, remember, you saw my tweet. I did have the Pong, the circular Pong pad. I don't know why I bought it literally for that one game. So yeah, I make fun of Pong, but yes, Pong is actually where it got me started.
I'm just playing, dude. You know that.
No. I know you are. But honestly, Dave, we should start a war online, pretend we hate each other, and maybe we'll get some money from Mr. Elon. I'm okay. I'm not beyond simping for cash. It's fine. But all right, let's move on to the next subject, and that's Gamescom's guy. I don't know. Has anyone been to Gamescom? Any of you guys been there before? No, me either. It's just too far away, and it's a lot of money to fly to Cologne, Germany. But I'm just curious from you guys. I'll start with you, OneBad. What do you expect to see at Gamescom? It could be on the Xbox side. I mean, I'm the Xbox guy, and that's fine. We don't have to talk about just Xbox. But is there anything that you expect to see at Gamescom that you're excited for? Or we know Xbox it's going to be the biggest for Xbox ever. I mean, I feel like they say that every year. It's just like, duh. Okay. We got the return of FanFest, so that's cool. We got 30 games coming from Xbox. They're going to be shown there, whatever those 30 games are. We don't know them all. There's a bunch that we don't know about. They're doing a 300 seat theater, to present Starfield, Forza, and RHETRI Untold. That one's a little confusing to me. It needs a 300 seat theater for that one, but I don't know. I guess that's a popular one. But we do know that Xbox is going to have 3 days of 3-hour streams, which is pretty cool. But what do you think will be there? Anything that you haven't seen that you think might show up, or you think it'll just be kind of updates on games that we've already seen?
Yeah, like it's interesting because I don't know what version of Microsoft is promoting this right now. They talk about the biggest they've ever been. I think a lot of us remember like in 2017 where Phil Spencer got up on stage and said, we're going to have 17 exclusives. And then they ended that with Anthem because they didn't have any exclusives. And they were like, all like, small, like, they're like, no, again, no offense, some good indies in there, but like they were, some indies that we wouldn't even see until like 5-6 years later. So like they've had that in the past. I think they've gotten better with that. They've got a little bit more self-aware. More recently, you've seen them temper expectations. So when they say it, if I am going to say, okay, this is a more self-aware Microsoft, one that doesn't feel like they need to oversell things and lose trust over that anymore. And you start to think about it, it's like, okay, well, Starfield and Forza, they've already talked about that. That's on stage. So what else? And they do have a lot in their pipeline, right? Like they've revealed a lot of things since 2020 that we haven't seen since. It would like just recently we had the showcase and there was no Hellblade gameplay. That would be a great thing to show on stage, right? Like, or even let people get hands on with, because you think about this kind of environment, people are going to go hands on. So maybe, and I like kind of had this theory back then, when they did the showcase and then Hellblade's gameplay didn't show up. It's like maybe they're gonna, because I know that they prioritized that they talked about it. If you go look back at the last few times they've even talked about the game, the combat, that is a huge focus for them this time. They brought in new people for it. And I think like what better way to let people actually go hands on with it rather than just showing it. So that's one that I think would be a great spot for it. Another game would be something like a Contraband. Reason I say that one is we saw how Sony Showcase went. When you show new IPs that are multiplayer gas game based, you really can't do them justice in a trailer, right? Like they just, I remember they were, Sony was showing a bunch of those, and those trailers, people were just like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited about it or not. I don't know how it plays. So I think if you're going to reveal a thing like that, probably doing that where you can go hands on. So something like that. And then, we know like games like Perfect Dark have been out there for a while. So I'm hoping that we get something along those lines, something that maybe it could have been at a showcase recently that they've held back, because they did say, I think Phil did talk about, or Phil or somebody else talked about they held some things back. So this would be a good place, right? Like, so when you think about, okay, it's going to be your biggest show. It's going to be your biggest show in years since they gave us that infamous Crackdown demo. You remember Dustin McGarry going hands on with that Crackdown demo? That wasn't, and so we try to forget about that actually now. So if you're really going to try to like promote this as something that's a big deal, and we're not expecting like them to come out with a new id game or something like that, then I think you have to kind of start going through their portfolio of things that we know are out there, that I think would drive some buzz to finally see some hands-on. And last would be, and this is a wild card because I think nobody's really even hinted this, and usually 343 is not very good at preventing leaks. So unless new management's a lot better. But I think this would also be a great place to let people go hands-on with whatever the certain affinities
battle royale,
right? Like even if it's not ready, even if it's just like giving them a tip of the iceberg, like here's a taste of it. I think if you're trying to build that hype up, this could be a way to start getting that buzz going again, especially now that your game, the base game, is now in a really healthy spot. If you get people excited and they start going back to your base game, you're not in a situation now where you're afraid of that, right? Like where before they would have hit that, got maybe bored and fell off because there wasn't a lot of content. So those are the ones. I think those are probably the ones that I'm throwing out there. It's just,
I'm sorry, I was laughing at this one because I didn't know if Lore Master, I didn't know if he was trolling or not, because it was a face paint and tattoo spray. It fucking made me laugh. I was like, I can't tell if that's real or not. Lore Master Jasper, gonna have to let me know if you're trolling or not.
Go ahead and read the whole
thing. The only thing that's confirmed, Hellblade at Gamescom, Senua Saga Hellblade is face paint tattoo spray-ons. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 photo opportunity and meet and greet. I hope you're trolling, but if that's true, that's
the lady that does plays in them, she's actually going to be there signing on.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. A lot of people. She's got a big following online and stuff. So and she's got a great personality. So I think that's just smart on Hellblade's. For her to have her there. Sorry, one bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you again. I just thought that was funny.
No, it is funny. No, and that's like like she's going to be there. Like you just think like this wouldn't this be like the perfect place for them to reveal the combat if it's ready, right? Like like rather than show it. I know some people like think maybe they wait and show it at the direct in January or maybe the Game Awards, but let people, if you really have come a long way with it, because we all know it looked good before. It did. Yeah. When you saw it in action, it looked good. But when you played it, it was kind of like a little bit repetitive. And
it's a huge question mark. Just like for me, right. Starfield, the shooting mechanics and the battle mechanics were a question mark. It's the same exact thing with Hellblade 2. People are like, well, great story, great cinematics, great looking. Combat, not so good. Right. Puzzles, maybe puzzles a little too annoying. It's stuff like that. Those were kind of like the negatives that people said on Hellblade. So I think, and that's why when they didn't show the gameplay, like combat, last time, so many of us were disappointed because that's what we were asking for. So you might be right. Maybe they held back, and maybe Gamescom is the place for that. It's fitting, right?
Right.
There's going to have a bunch of stations there.
And if you don't have combat ready at this point, then I'm guessing we're not going to see it early 2024. That's kind of my other thought. So this is a perfect spot for it. So if we don't see it, I'm just going to assume it's still got a lot of development left in it, and maybe it's like later. Geez,
really? I wasn't thinking that. I feel like that game's done, but man, now you're making me like, oh crap! Could it? Well, could they still work on the combat?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not done because I don't know. Like I know there's been rumors that it's going to be an early 2024 game. If that's the case, then combat should be done, right? Like it should be
right. It should be right.
Yeah, you should be able to make a vertical slice of that and show that well. So, and that's how Ninja Theory kind of makes their games in vertical slices. So they could, if they have the combat done, they can get something out there for people to go hands on with.
Nice. Sure. Yeah. All right. So I guess Tony, Plume, what are your thoughts on Gamescom? What are your expectations or excitement for, or what are your hopes there?
I don't have any huge expectations for them showing off anything new because they announced that it is the biggest show, but I think they were specifically referring to the amount of just overall games they have in their booth because they have a huge booth, and they said like a lot of them is third-party partners and everything like that. And I know on that Xbox Wire post they mentioned all the games. I don't know if there's going to be more than that in terms of like their first-party stuff, but out of that, like for me, Stalker 2, I really want to see the hands-on for Stalker 2 because that's one I can't like. Hopefully, we'll get some like videos of people giving their experiences of how what it felt like and everything. I really want to see how that's looking. And if they're doing these, usually they do these like long streams, like you said. What was it, like 3 days or
3 days of 3 hours, 3 days. So we got 9 hours of stream. So that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's 9 hours of content.
I don't think they're going to have anything earth-shattering because they know no one's going to be sitting. They would really have to pick, like, it would be really hard to get a huge audience to see something that's really big for an announcement, right? I would love to see Hellblade 2 combat. That was, for me, the biggest thing out of the Xbox showcase. That was the biggest disappointment. I thought it was a great show. No Hellblade combat. Because I liked Hellblade, like, but I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of the first game. Like, it was kind of boring to me, the gameplay and everything. Yeah, it's not my style, right? I like gameplay. I like faster stuff and everything. So I really want to see combat, see if that improved. And they didn't show that, so I was disappointed. But other than that, like, I feel I'm looking forward to just seeing more gameplay content from games that we already know are coming up. Because 2023, between now and the end of the year, I don't need to get hyped up for 2024 at this point with everything coming out between now and 2024. Like, we got Starfield, you have so much stuff coming out in October, right? So it's just crazy. So I don't expect anything new or earth-shattering or big reveals. Even with Gamescom Live this week, I think Jeff Keighley already pretty much came out and said to not expect any big earth-shattering
kind of did
announcement.
Yeah.
So
he said like there might be like I think you're right, Plume. Like he kind of alluded to it and already said like it'd be nice to have like one surprise. So it sounds like there could be literally only one thing that we don't know about, which is setting the bar pretty low. I mean, it's nice to hear that Xbox is coming out with their, having the biggest booth ever, but you're right. It might just be size and amount of games and stuff. It sounds like the majority of the stuff we already know about. We do know from Jeff that Alan Wake 2 will be there, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Black Myth Wukong, which I'm very much looking forward to, and I'm really hoping.
It looks really good.
I'm really hoping that Xbox is making a deal with the developers of Black Myth Wukong. I think it just seems obvious to do. It's got a lot of great buzz around it. It's a good showpiece for Unreal Engine 5. It wouldn't cost a lot of money for them to do that because it's such a small developer. It ticks a lot of boxes. I think it would be an easy get. Hopefully they'll bring that into Game Pass or do some sort of exclusivity or something. Well, it probably won't be exclusive, but Game Pass. I'll take Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's enough. We know Call of Duty will be there, the new Call of Duty. Whether you think that is a glorified DLC or not, well, whatever. Crimson Desert, which actually looks really good as well.
Yeah.
You got Cyberpunk, the Phantom Liberty DLC. We know Delta Force game coming back. I don't remember Delta Force at all. I remember the movies. I don't remember the games. But apparently that's something that I can't remember the developer, but they're going to try to compete with Call of Duty and Battlefield. Fort Solace, I don't recall that one. Lords of the Fallen, something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1, of course. Nightingale, we haven't heard from Nightingale in a hot minute. That game definitely is something interesting to me. Hopefully that'll be good. You got Sonic Superstars and Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, which for some reason I cannot remember what the hell that is.
Okay, so Jackson, he was originally set to make a Star Wars movie, and they had him all, and he wrote the script and play and everything, and then they changed their mind and they went with somebody else. So he had this idea, so he obviously made tweaks and changes to it, so it's not quote unquote Star Wars, but this is what it is.
Okay.
And Netflix was like, "We'll give you tons of money if you make this movie," and they did, and it looks to be amazing.
So this isn't even a game. Okay, I heard about a movie coming out, so that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Rebel Moon. Okay, I didn't know that. All right,
I didn't know
that makes more sense. There was a rumor, of course. I didn't mention Stalker 2, but there was some articles that Stalker 2 will be there as well. And of course,
it would be playable even.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it'd be playable. It's supposed to come out. Supposedly, it's supposed to come out in December, if you believe the Steam page.
Yeah.
Well, they do say it in the Xbox Wire post that it will be playable.
Oh, did they say it? Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
That's why I'm pumped for that because.
I'd also like to welcome out. There were 210 people in the chat.
Ooh, baby.
Yay. Awesome. RHETRI, let me know when you want to get to me because I got a video to play for mine.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it right now, brother.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm looking forward to so much.
All right.
And
let's see it.
Here we go.
I'm excited. I don't even know what it is.
Here we go.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the UE5 too. Looks so good.
This game looks. I can't believe. I don't know. I haven't followed up, and I was looking at this game years ago when it was literally one guy was still making it. I don't know how many devs are working on it now, but this guy's amazing, man. Like I would grab this. I would grab this talent ASAP. Do not let this get away.
Was
Xbox.
it one guy? I thought it was like 40.
In the beginning, it was.
In
the beginning, it was literally one dude.
More than that, yes.
Yeah. I don't know what they expanded out to. Like obviously he expanded out, but I mean, I'm telling you right now, it looked like this years ago. Like it looked so good.
Yeah. And it is a Black Myth Wukong, and it is a Chinese developer, and they go in deep into the lore of the Monkey King, which is big in Chinese mythology, and it looks to be absolutely amazing and playable And we're thinking that there's a possibility that because it's at GameCon and playable, and like certain companies like Sony aren't there, what does this mean? Well, maybe we'll find out few other surprises. It may not be exclusive.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to? Are we talking Game Pass? Or
Maybe.
I didn't know if you're going with Shadow Drop or all right.
Well, Richard, you brought that up a few
thing.
minutes ago. And go ahead, Plume.
I was gonna say that's the main thing I'm looking forward to out of all of Gamescom is just seeing what games are coming to Game Pass. I'm sure there will be Game Pass announcements at this thing. So
think about what it did for new IPs like A High and Light that had 7 million users, or Atomic Heart that got 5 million users, or even Wulong, which people like when they announced 3 million back then for a game that was probably not even one of their better Team Ninja games. When they would only get like 1 million people to play the Neos and be okay with those numbers. So I think. Like you bring up a really good point, and it's kind of under the radar, but that's always a pop too for the whole entire Xbox ecosystem is what third-party partners, and like this is the next level, right? Like Atomic Heart was like kind of like one of those that was people were excited about back then because of how it looked visually and everything.
Right.
And
then we all played it, and then we were like, oh.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't.
Well, Atomic Heart was. The open world was terrible, but I found like the sections when you're underground and stuff or in the different areas going through the missions was actually pretty good. So they have a lot to build on there. But also, I want to just mention Texas Chainsaw Massacre also just announced they hit 1 million players, and that must be because of Game Pass. I did not expect to see that after a couple days.
I didn't either. That too. If people don't know, not I know this is like a crazy comparison, but that is faster than Baldur's Gate. Just FYI, not that it's not going to get Baldur's Gate numbers, but in 24 hours they were able to beat Baldur's Gate numbers out the gate.
Impressive,
that's
for sure.
That's impressive. So the Game Pass effect, as the kids say.
It's exposure, right? Because for a lot of these games, like even if they like, let's say this Wulong comes out and it's rated in the mid 80s or something, and it looked like it was playing pretty well. Like McCaffrey had a thing on it, and it was playing it, and it sounded like, I don't know if he's a Souls expert or not. I don't think so, but he seemed like it seemed like the combat and everything really did flow, and it didn't seem like he had any complaints about it. It looked good in motion. So, but the thing is, like a lot of these games are going to, now that the AAA games are starting to finally get on track, like after they were stunted from the pandemic, I think the bigger studios were delayed more than the smaller ones. And I think what's going to happen with some of these, they're going to need to figure out how to get in front of people, get people talking about their games. And so something like this, a Crimson Desert, you mentioned a few other ones in there, but like these like ones that look like they have a lot of potential and they look exciting. But it's like at the same time, you're like, well, do I want to spend 60 or 70 when I got a backlog? So like these would be exciting announcements to see something like this come to a Game Pass. And you brought up a good point, Dave. I did not think about that, but Sony's not going to be there, right? So this is a chance for Microsoft to partner with some of these third parties and like let's do something together.
That's the kind of the thing I was kind of thinking is that I mean, just because they're not there, that doesn't mean that there won't be any Sony games shown, because there are other third-party developers that will be showing, oh, here's my Sony game, or here's a game that's on multiplat and also on on PlayStation. But as far as the actual main Sony representation, it's not there because they don't have any games coming out. I mean, they have one game coming.
They haven't been to anything this year. They've done nothing, and then they had their one showcase, which was a little lackluster. A lot of movies in that.
Those games need to be here. Like,
and I love Sony games. I know I'm the Gamecast guy, but make no mistake, I love a lot of the Sony games. But man, that show was holy crap. I would have lost the bet on that one because I thought it was going to be much.
I was expecting it to be huge. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be one of their best shows in a few years.
But there was Gran Turismo the movie.
It could be good.
And this
And
is
it
where they
flopped
should
in
be
theaters.
showing off that kind of stuff, though. Like, you got multiplayer stuff that, this is where you like when you get consumers and media to go hands on. That's
Mhm.
when you're going to get the positive impressions and the buzz, and oh, maybe we should keep an eye out for this thing because it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
this
if
looks
they've
really
done
good.
all their analysis of like, because they have such a large market share in Europe, right, and in other
Yep.
parts of the world, whereas Xbox is more North America and the UK.
Yeah.
I wonder if they just done their analysis about like the cost of going to these shows. Not worth it. They just
Right.
it's
Right.
kind of useless to them, so they probably just are avoiding. I wouldn't be surprised if they avoid these shows next year and the year after, even when they do have games, but
Mhm.
and just
Well,
do their PlayStation directs.
I know that the
Yep.
market for like an E3, they were way overpriced, but the people that put on like Gamescom and those type of events are a lot more affordable than what
Yeah.
E3 would, because E3
That's
got to the
true.
point where it was so big
Yeah, it
that
was
they
ridiculous.
could pretty much charge crazy amounts of money.
Yeah.
Where I mean, like this is going to be the biggest presence that Microsoft has ever had at any trade show ever. The biggest floor, the biggest booth they've ever had, and that's because they can afford to be there and they want to make a
Right.
presence. So this is
Plus,
awesome.
they're in third place. You got to do that stuff when you're in third place. You got
Like
to
Peter
come
Moore
out
said today.
swinging. Yeah.
Doesn't this boss
So-
fight look awesome, guys? Jesus, look at
It does. Like here's the thing, David. Why I love this game. The gameplay I saw over 2 years ago, and it looked amazing then. So like, I'm just glad that this game still exists and that it's happening. It's very, very high on my list right there with Stalker 2 as well. But I am curious to see, like, do you guys think that we might see like the games from Machine Games Coalition? Is id Software going to show up?
No.
Do you think we're not seeing like Perfect Dark? Do you think like all that stuff's probably not? Might not. Maybe Perfect Dark? Question mark.
Maybe Perfect
Like, I don't know.
because it's already been announced, and this I think that would be a cool surprise. Like I think I think for Microsoft it benefits them to kind of subvert expectations, right? Like if you think about the biggest pops they've got from a marketing or just mindshare standpoint, it's when they've done things that have caught us off guard, like the 2019 reveal of Hellblade and the Series X, right? Like something like that. Or the High End Life that earlier this year. That's like really cool gameplay. And like I think Plume has a good point, and I think others have mentioned this too, but that you got Starfield, and that's going to suck a lot of the air out of the room for everybody else. But I also think it can work two different ways. I think you can have, it's that whole rising tide raises all boats kind of philosophy. That because I think back to like 2021 when Microsoft seemed to have a lot of momentum. I feel like that actually helped Halo at that time, even though it didn't hold it, right? Like I thought, it coming out the way it did, it had all that negativity for a while, but because they were on a roll, I think people were giving it more benefit to the doubt. And I thought like it fed out, like all those games were kind of feeding off of each other. And I do think that even though Starfield will really, capture people's time for the next couple months, I think that just using that energy and bringing some other things in there to keep the momentum going is smart. Like rather than trying to spread it out, I think that's been the old philosophy where like you spread things out, you want to keep things going throughout the year. But I think right now that with Starfield launching, it is. I've been saying this for a while, that I feel like this is almost like a reboot of
like
Xbox.
The reset button.
Reset button for Xbox.
Yeah,
it's a new beginning. It's like all that negative energy and things that have happened from Halo's year and a half of struggles to like no AAA to Redfall. Like I feel like all that you can wash away pretty quickly, and I think you just kind of just don't keep Starfield by itself. Like you take that energy and you bring in something, you bring in a Perfect Dark, you bring in a Hellblade, you bring in some other things to kind of, even if they're not coming out right now, just like go like, hey, this is what's next. This is what's next. Look, we're on a roll.
Right.
We have it.
So meaning like, you want to keep the momentum going. So we could see, means we could see Fable. We could see Avowed. We could see South of Midnight, Clockwork Revolution. One of the things that I'm super excited for now.
Yeah, that would be great to see.
That would be great to see some more of those games. And it sounds like, from kind of what Keeley has been alluding to, he's like, we might get one surprise. I think that's probably exactly what's going to happen, right? We're probably just going to see those games more fleshed out. Some of those playable. Hopefully Hellblade will be playable. But I'm just, keeping the momentum going. I wonder if we do get teases from more teases from Perfect Dark, more teases from the other teams like the Coalition and Machine Games. I don't know, because you were just saying about OneBadMutha that it's there's a new school mentality, right? Where you don't hold too much back, and
right.
we want to show the roadmap, because the roadmap is what sells you consoles. The roadmap, what's going to happen in the future, is what gets people excited about what's going to happen. I know some people get sick and tired of seeing a game that's not coming out for 3 years. I'm not one of those people. I don't sign up for that philosophy. I'm market what you got. I don't care if it's a teaser. I don't care. You got to get the community, the regular, the guy who doesn't listen to this podcast. You got to get that guy excited, right? You got to get the 80% excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's what Gamescom is going to be about for them, with the booth, where the people are walking by they probably haven't followed Xbox all year, right? But they're going to go and see all of these playable games and think, if I buy this platform today or tomorrow, I'm going to be able to play all these games in the next year. And I agree with you with Starfield kind of being that reset, because if you remember, at the beginning of this generation, Phil Spencer was basically we want to be able to get 3 to 4 games out every single year, first party, and they're going to hit it this year. I think they're going to get 5 out this year overall, right? Especially after Forza comes out. Yep. So I think Starfield is we are in this new era of Xbox. So you think about going into 2024, you got Avowed coming out. You have the Flight Simulator one coming out. I'm drawing like Hellblade potentially coming out. That's 3, and then they're on their way to getting those 3 to 4 games every single year coming out. And Starfield, I think, is that turning point for them. So I feel like at Gamescom, it's here's Xbox. Here's what we have. Here's what we have for the next year and a half or so. And you're going to be able to play all of these games right now if you pick up the platform, which is what I think they're trying to do with having that huge booth of a bunch of playable games. So people are they can see the products right in their hands rather than just dreaming about it for the future.
Well, and you brought up something else that I think that kind of made me think about this too, because we've always heard when Sony shows off their games that are 3-4 years out, people still get super duper excited about it, right? And why do you hear that happens there, but that doesn't have the same? It didn't in the past have the same effect with Xbox, is because we know Sony's going to deliver. We know what those games are going to be like. We know when we see this that it's going to look similar. I mean, it doesn't always look exactly. They show it off, but generally it's going to be a high quality game. It's going to be very polished, high production values. We know what that's going to be. And I think the problem that, something that's kind of taken some of the pop off, a lot of these reveals from Microsoft, is that they still are working towards that track record, that trust, that, hey, that when these, we're getting you guys hyped about that. If we're going to keep promoting a game, it's going to be, we think it's going to be something special, right? We're going to be able to deliver on that. I think, showing a roadmap or showing things that are going to come in the future after you've had a huge successful AAA, game that lands, that meets or exceeds expectations. Now those types of things are going to have there's going to be a different context to them, right? It's a different feeling than when you're showing off something after a Redfall. Now, when you're showing off and I know, I don't think Avowed's going to be there because they just showed it, but now now when you're going to show off something like an Avowed, and you look and you see, well, they're going to have support for improving their graphics and things, that's going to mean a lot more when you kind of look at if Starfield's as polished and, as good as people are hoping, then that's going to create those sort of expectations for those future ones. Right now, we think that Avowed's going to get better looking over time and be polished when that game comes out. Right now, we think Hellblade's going to be that thing. So that's another reason why I just it's going to have that rising tide thing. And I think Starfield is really the first game that's going to do that, because 2021 was a good year, but it was Halo, Forza, and some games that were not mainstream, right? And this is the first time we're going to get away from that, where we're going to something new, something that's coming from a studio that they just purchased, that's a new IP, and it's going to it's going to reestablish the brand, and I think people's trust in terms of how they can deliver with the future things.
Yeah, I think you just said sorry. I just want to point out what you just said. The word trust. That's a big one for people who've been waiting. I think that's the right word to use. It's like they have to regain everyone's trust to not just get like one good game, but several good games, just like Sony does. And I think that's about to happen. Go ahead, Plume.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're going to get several good games. What I'm interested in seeing going forward is, we know they have like 23 game studios right now, and then after they get Activision Blizzard, there's going to be a bunch more. Obviously, not every single game is going to be a 8 or 9 out of 10. There may be some 7s in there. It'll be interesting to see how people react, especially after you're assuming, like I'm assuming Starfield's going to be a 9+. I'm assuming it's going to be very highly reviewed, but I could be wrong. But I'm assuming after a game like that drops, that everyone's talking about, everybody's playing, it's a huge game. If the next game comes out at like a 7.5 or an 8, how are people going to react? Are they going to overreact to think that Xbox can't manage studios again, or is this going to be the understanding that they have so many that they have so many studios that not every single game is going to be a Starfield, right? So
Plume, I love that you said that, but yeah, they're going to be dicks all over again. That's just the way the internet is, I think. I like wishful thinking. Like we're all logical. We as guys who do this, like we understand. By the way, since when is a 7 game bad? A 7 is fine. Like people, if it's not like an 8 or a 9 or a goddamn 10, people like lose their minds. Like, oh, it's shit. It's not. Sevens are fine.
Better be a 27.
Better like, but I think Xbox has a stigma. It's got 20 years of issues. And
2 years ago,
to
developer
get off
of the year.
You know what I mean?
2 years ago, developer of the year. So I'm just saying.
Dave, doesn't matter.
I know.
Ask IGN then why they keep doing hit pieces. Kotaku, like it just doesn't stop.
No, RHETRI, I know
it's
that
crazy.
You're like me, that couldn't give a shit what IGN thinks or
Kotaku.
What a trash.
I don't. People do. Silent Cypher is saying we won't see those. He's probably talking about the games I was just mentioning. They're too early in, except Hellblade, which won't be playable. I mean, maybe we'll see. Time will tell. They got 30 games, and a lot of those could be third party. They probably are a lot of third party. Like maybe we'll see more collaboration going on with Sega. I've been tooting this horn for a while. We might see Jet Set Radio. We might see Crazy Taxi. Little Sony ain't there. Do it, Microsoft. Like it's part of their AAA program, their super games, as Sega was calling them. So I say take them on, bring them into Game Pass. Like that's great nostalgia. Those are both great nostalgia games right there. Bring them into the fold. You know what I mean? Silent Cypher. Sorry, I was going to read that, but that's fine. I think he was propping up Plume's telling Def
everybody should subscribe to
check out Plume's stuff.
And just so you know, information for OneBadMutha and for Plume Network are below in the description. So please make sure you go there, subscribe. Not only subscribe to Plume Network, but make sure you hit the bell icon. For me, it's Central Standard Time, so 7 a.m. Central Standard Time every day. He's got a video dropping every day during the week. So even when he was his wife was giving birth and he was at the hospital, he still managed to put out a few videos, and it was great.
She knew the fans they need to be updated. So
they needed their fix.
They did. But that's the dedication that he puts into it. He puts a lot of hard work into it, and it's so worth your time, because it's a 15-20 minute newscast it's worth it. It's great. Keeps you up to date on what's going on in gaming. And OneBadMutha, we know he's working on his own content, and when that is available, we will also have him back for that as well and promote that when he's decided to dip his toes in the water as a solo. But yeah, so but he's available on Twitter too, so reach out to him there. He's an amazing guy, as you're seeing now for yourself. RHETRI, are we okay? No, we're at 220 people in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here.
Yeah,
please hit the like button. I hate to ask you, but if you can, please hit the like or tweet this out.
Share this. Do all the marketing things we keep not doing. Do those things.
We have memberships for just 99 cents a month. And you can cancel after that.
What are we calling it now? X. Share it out on the
Twitter.
X.
I'm not giving in.
You're not giving in? You will. You're going to bend the knee eventually.
I'm not getting into the social media terrorists.
And in fact, if you look at the description below, I put X/Twitter.
I put X both on mine. I'm just gonna go with it. It's whatever. I can't fight the Elon. He's gonna win. It's fine.
There you go. Are you wanting to talk about the Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of fanboying about this one, and it's kind of like what Plume was saying earlier in the beginning of the podcast, was that he didn't expect to like this game as much as he did. And I was feeling the exact same way about it. I'm like, man, I don't know if this is going to be good, but I think it's just a lot of fun. And one bad, you did not play this yet, right?
I've been all Baldur's Gate 3. That's like
all Baldur's. Yeah,
a little bit of Halo mixed in for palate cleansing, but
yeah, that would definitely be life-consuming game. So that's probably why I'm able to play this game. But it's on Game Pass, guys. It's a lot of fun. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm actually gonna share my crappy gameplay of it. Hold on.
I got it. Some up there playing right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. I was gonna show my awesome escape and my kills.
You can do it. Go ahead.
I wanted to show off because I had to edit it because
I'm gonna pull it out and get you up. No.
Yeah.
We also have another super chat to read while you're pulling that up too.
Okay, I know you find this.
I know all these things to do. God, RHETRI.
I know.
Act like you got a show to run.
I'm trying to go as fast as I can.
Hey, RHETRI, can I say something? Welcome back, buddy. I missed you.
I missed you too. I'm a little rusty, guys. Clearly,
you're doing wonderful, man. Absolutely wonderful.
There it is. Yeah. So, well, you'll see. Is
that your character?
Now I look like a damn alcoholic because I'm drinking right now, and I'm drinking the same drink I was the other day. Anyways, so we were playing with Silent Cypher and his brother and some other people as well. My buddy Jim. And,
so who's the scantily clad character you're playing? I mean,
I don't remember. But I'm kind of liking the females a little bit better. For the victims to escape. Yeah, don't get weird. Anyways, because on the lock picking, I'm a scaredy cat. So like on the lock pick side, she is very fast. I don't know if she's the fastest character, but I'm able to I'm either looking for someone who's got a lot of endurance because I'm doing a lot of running and hiding, as you'll see, or I'm looking for someone that can undo the locks really fast. Because this game is scary for me. I'm a big puss. Playing as a victim in this area, this is why what you're seeing doesn't look too dark, but that's because I jacked up the gamma. So I would definitely little tip, jack up the gamma. Right now I'm following Cypher because I'm terrible with directions. So this is why I can't get out of this downstairs. Apparently there's 4 exits in every area, and I just could not figure out how the hell to get out of this area. But it's a fun game. Plume, can you talk about this? Why are you enjoying this game? Have you played other games like this?
Read that super chat real quick, and then we'll go to Plume that way.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, sure. RHETRI. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna butcher your name. $2 and I don't know where the hell what that is. Right, $2.23.
Good enough.
A penny for each assistant. I was trying to figure out where that is, so I don't know where that's from. But thank you, brother. I appreciate your super chat.
$2.23 Canadian. Let's go.
Canadian, oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's Canadian. I'm sorry. Jeez, that wasn't that hard. Canadian, our neighbors, for God's sakes.
All right. Well, there's one more super chat now.
America.
We have a new channel member. Yay. Say it out
Masso.
loud.
Let's go. What's up? Yeah, Masso. I like his
I love his name.
I like what he's got going on there. Yeah.
There we go.
I became a YouTube member. Appreciate that. Silent Cypher, $5 super chat. RHETRI, know why you're choosing those characters. It's fine, homie. I'm not. I mean, the shot in the beginning is nice. He's like, look at that. You can see your butt. Yeah, it's fine.
I like those French fried tater.
Doing that way too well. You get a banjo and you're good to go. Yeah. So this is one of those games that's just fun in a group. I highly suggest you try to get a group. And if you don't have a group, join us, guys. Like, join our Discord gaming community. I'll put that out in a second when I find the link to that. But did we lose somebody? Okay. Yeah. Yep. So Plume, what are you? What's making you enjoy this game? Have you played other games like this game?
No, this is the first game I've played like this. And actually, Silent sent me a code for Friday the 13th, which she says is exactly the same, but I guess it's region locked and it didn't work, so I don't know if I'll be able to try that one. But yeah,
that's fun,
I've never played a game like this. I'm not like I like my Resident Evils and stuff, but I don't play every single horror game out there. I am kind of like scared of this stuff too. So I had all the lights on and everything when I was playing this. But
exactly.
I don't know. It was simple. It wasn't too complicated. It was really fun. Like, when you have a group of people, you feel like the atmosphere. And I felt like just the concept of trying to escape from these families that are trying to kill you and like outmaneuver them was addicting to a certain point. So I don't know. It's a good game. One thing I'm always like when I see these licensed games, I'm still from that era where they just released a bunch of crap licensed games. They would just get whatever popular license was out there, and every time the game would come out, it would be bad. So I was going into this before even the reviews were out, assuming this was just going to be like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're just trying to play off the name. I didn't think it was going to be anything, but it surprised me. Like, graphically it looks good. The gameplay is really fun when you're trying to just escape from the basement alone. Like you said, I got lost a bunch, but there's that intensity when like Leatherface is chasing you.
Terrifying.
And I think after a couple of games, I realized that Leatherface spawns down there or something. I'm not sure. I didn't play as the family. And he would show up like right away. And we were just on the run and having to hide. So I think there's a lot of good stuff, and I can't wait to see if they add more maps and stuff. I think that's the only thing missing. More maps and just more ways of escaping and stuff. So
very, very good thing to point out. And it's funny because I was talking to Cypher. He had the exact same thing to say, and I made a video about this game too, and said the same thing. And a lot of people who reviewed this game complained about the lack of maps. So there's only 3 on here, and there's a lot. It's a little samey, right? So it's kind of it almost has like, it's almost like Fallout, where every Fallout just looks the same because it's it's the atmosphere. So it's not like we're gonna get a 4th map from Texas Chainsaw. It's gonna be like bright colors, like like Hi-Fi Rush,
Rainbow Bright,
right? Yeah, which I'd be fine with because I could see where I'm going. But go ahead.
I didn't even know I was on I thought the entire time I was playing Friday night, I literally thought I was playing the same map. But if there are 3 maps, I didn't even realize I was on a different map the other time.
You might have been playing. It took us a while to actually get to another map. Like we were on this one that you're seeing right here for multiple games in a row, and then all of a sudden we were at a garage. So I don't know if you played the garage one, but it's possible you never played another map because it doesn't seem to rotate them very good. But we did find out last night you can actually vote on them. At least we could on private matches. But this is one of those games. Like I really enjoy Dead by Daylight. Me and Silent were arguing last night. Even though the guys who made this made Friday the 13th, which don't think is good, which I don't like it.
It's fun, but it's fun for me. I love playing it.
He loves it. You like it. So like, it just wasn't for me. But I also played that game in the beginning, and it was I mean, I even backed him up on Kickstarter, and it was very, very, very rough in the beginning. Like, it was crashing like crazy, which apparently a lot of the PC guys, this didn't get the greatest reviews from PC. I think it was at a 72 right now on Metacritic. And that's because on PC, they had a lot of issues with crashes and a lot of frame drops, which I did not have. We played for hours. I played it on Series X, and my buddy played it on a PC, and neither of us had any issues. But it's definitely a thing for other people, because I saw it in the comments section when the developers put out a tweet, and it was everyone was like, fix your servers, fix your servers, fix your servers. And I was like, oh shit. So
you know what?
We just got lucky, I guess. I don't know.
The best thing about this is that if you have Game Pass, it's included.
Right.
If you have Game Pass, there's millions and millions of people playing this game. So it's like you're gonna get matches. And a few days to get the bugs worked out. Every game has it. So to get the online play tweaked, I think it's going to be worth it. And you may enjoy it. And the thing is, you play it for a little while, and then you can delete it. And if you decide to get your friends in for the weekend, download it, play it, have fun, then delete it. So that's the Game Pass is so amazing. That's so awesome. One more super chat too. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Silent Cypher, $2 super chat. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Don't be a quitter, RHETRI. Play Friday the 13th. You know what? After playing this, I might, Silent, I'll go back and play. All right, here's the deal, Silent. I will play Friday the 13th. If you play the game that you hate, even though it's exactly like this one, you were talking trash about it last night, and Dead by Daylight. I'll play, because we're definitely going to do a lot of stuff on Halloween. I'm going to go through like a horror film kick, a horror game kick, and scare myself to death, and everyone can be funny.
And we've talked about we're probably going to do a special episode in October. We're going to be covering a lot of horror games, and probably even going to have maybe even some paranormal investigators on the show, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time for sure. Yeah.
Me and Dave like the wacky horror stuff. We're very much similar in that regard. So 100%. What's up, boss? But yeah, I think this is a game that surprised me. I think it's a lot of fun. It's
easy to
it's
jump
a little
into.
different. It's it's easy to jump into. There is kind of an issue where there's a lack of telling you what the hell to do. So like they don't tell you what the here's a weird thing. So me and Silent were arguing about this. I was like, no, you run with the I think it was the LB button. He's like, no, you use A. Because the victims, the run button is not the same as the killers. Why they did that, I don't know. But it's A for the victims and it's LB for the killers. It's just odd that they chose to do that. But so there's a little lack of tutorials and kind of what you have to do. So you're stumbling around in the beginning. But little advice is just play it a bunch and get your character souped up and learn the map. Just go in every direction and learn the map, because these maps are a little confusing. But it's a fun game. It's I think $50 normally. It's on Game Pass. We get it for our subscription fee, or if you like me, you paid ahead, and you're good for years to go.
And also want to remind people too to subscribe to RHETRI's channel, because he does these, which is the Game Pass Daily _daily. But he does these playthroughs and stuff all the time. The Fortnite, Friday and Saturday nights he does this.
I do a lot of Fortnite.
For several hours.
If you don't like Fortnite, you're probably not going to want to follow me.
And you've never seen anything funnier than RHETRI when he's playing, and all of a sudden he gets shot at, and he's yelling at everybody on his team. Get over here!
I'm sorry. I know. I feel bad. I get. Listen, I get sweat. Like when I play video games, like I'm into it. It's like I'm there. It's like I'm there. I will sweat. People make fun of me, say I have a video game face because I do this with my lips. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I look all stupid when I play video games. So, but you guys can definitely come out, and we had some people last night joining us. It was a lot of fun. So, and I dropped the link earlier for the Discord. If you guys want to join us, that's how we do all our gaming. That's how I chat with everybody, obviously. And I say, don't fight the future. Discord's not going away. Microsoft tried to buy him. I hope they try to buy him again. But if you don't like Discord, I swear, just try it. Just try it out. It's good stuff. Oh, what's up, Kay Asante?
Welcome, Kay.
Hey, what's up?
Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that game. And our last main subject for me is Armored Core, because I am excited about this game. I don't know if this moves the needle for you guys. So Armored Core 6 is coming out August 25th. From Software. And I'm just curious. I'll let anyone go. Anyone can just chime right in. Is anyone interested in this game? Do you guys care about mech games? I know I'm a Mech Assault guy from back in the day, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the Armored Cores, but
I haven't either.
Since last generation, since I played Dark Souls 3 for the first time, I've been a huge From Software fan. So, like, in terms of their game design and their systems and just they seem to just be at another level. I said my favorite IP of all time is Halo. My favorite genre is Western RPGs, but my favorite dev today is From Software. So this game was really was one of my most anticipated, but it's coming out at the absolute worst freaking time. Like,
that's it for me.
Yeah,
I can't. I mean, I'm sure. The way I'm just approaching this one, I will eventually buy it, but it's going to be something that it's going to have to probably happen later in the year, and I'll just wait. Yeah. To probably go on sale, and I'll get it with and they'll do some balancing patches, I'm sure, and things like that. So, but yeah, it's really nice to see. I want this game to have a lot of success because I'm like you. I miss the mech games, like Mech Assault. Even before that, the Mech Warrior games on the PC, way back in the day for me. Those were the jams. So I'm hoping this brings back a little bit of popularity just because of From Software's pedigree. But just, my God, this is what a terrible launch window for this game.
I know. Not the great. I mean, yeah, you're basically sandwiched between Baldur's Gate and Starfield. Like, oops. Like, I mean, that's like a Lies of P situation all over again. But I'm curious to see, like, if this is gonna, like, what type of success, if any, they're gonna see from this game, because it's been, God, I think it's been at least 10 years. I think since the last Armored Core game came out. I kind of thought it would have been smarter for them to just do a reboot and just call it Armored Core and just not go with the 6 myself. But
that's probably
I'm wondering if this is gonna, maybe people who aren't interested in Starfield will actually like pick this one up. I don't know. Plume, I heard you saying like, I'm probably waiting on this one as well. Like,
I've never played Armored. Yeah, I've never played an Armored Core game before. I am a fan of From Software after playing Dark Souls Remastered and then playing Elden Ring. I will eventually play this, but I'm right there with OneBad that there's no way I'm picking this up on August 25th. There's just, in 5 days, I'm getting the Constellation edition of Starfield coming in. I'll be playing that kind of that.
Right.
So
yeah,
there's just no way. And I do like bet games. Like I've played like Daemon Ex Machina on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if you guys know about that one. Played that one. That was pretty fun. Titanfall, even though it's like a mixture, it's kind of has some mech in there.
I would consider that a mech game for sure.
Yeah, and so it's like, looks fun, doesn't it? I mean, like,
just the fast movement, the movement looks so good.
Yeah, and then they're going to have a bunch of stats and different ways to upgrade and all the stuff that that I like to do. So
terrible timing for it. That's all.
I know. I'm just so worried that, like, I was, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, if you think if this is successful, if there will be like a resurgence of mech games, just like, when we see with licensed IP, like they just dump games out. I'm curious to see if this is successful, but now it might not be because of where it sits, in the timeline of games. Like, it's a crazy time, but these games have to come out, right? Like, because almost all this stuff was delayed. So now we're getting like too many games coming out at the same time. Good problem to have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to see like From Software, eat it essentially. Like, I want this game to succeed, and I'm wondering, like, maybe it won't now because of what's surrounding it. I don't know.
Well, it might do all right on PlayStation, right? Because I still think Baldur's Gate isn't going to have the mainstream appeal to their base, and just because it's a real PC-ish RPG at the end of the day. So this could, but what's crazy is if this like everything I've seen when I watch like the gameplay and everything, like if this game would have been coming out last year, probably would have been top of my list, you know, in terms of most anticipated and all that. And it's just like, this might be the craziest 3 months that we've had in gaming since maybe 2007.
I think it will do its sales. Like, I think there will be a lot of people that do buy it. I mean, there will be definitely people who are getting Starfield and they're like, well, I got 5 days to try to rifle through as much as this as I can, right? Or even if people who aren't getting the deluxe or premium edition, whatever it's called, who are going to get the early access Starfield, have like a week. True. What else is interesting though, I find, is that this game, they're showing it off, or it's at the Xbox booth. So I don't know, maybe some surprise announcements there, because you think this would be a game that would be something shown off with PlayStation, right? I just from software, right? But it's at the Xbox booth at Gamescom, so you never know. Who knows?
You're giving me, you're making me feel there. Pong, you know what it is? Pong started this whole crap a long time. I think it was Pong and somebody else said it too. It might have been I Still Reign. Even mentioned that, it'd be great if Armored Core 6 was in Game Pass, because I guess Sarah Bond a while ago had made some comments about the game on her Twitter feed, so that my brain started going. I'm like, maybe. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
She asked about it today as well on Twitter. She asked like, who's excited about Armored Core 6. Like, if there's a From Software game that comes to Game Pass, this one would actually make sense. I feel like there is more of a niche crowd for this. And just the exposure, putting this on Game Pass day one.
Can I throw one thing out there?
Yeah, go for it.
So my thoughts are that after the trial and all the disclosure that happened with Sony's bad takes and Microsoft's, I think that the gloves are off. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but you just get that feeling that Microsoft isn't going to sit back and let things just happen to them. They're really going to go after more and more things in the future. And I think in this next year, and also to the end of the year, I think there are going to be a lot of surprises that people are going to be like,
wow.
They did what?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And not necessarily exclusives, but maybe beefing up Game Pass even more, maybe some timed things. I just think that it's, I don't think the beast is going to be quiet. And once the ABK deal is done, yes, I said the magic words. It's game on, as they say in Wayne's World.
Well, you remember what Peter Moore was saying? I'm sure you guys heard, right? The ILP.
Well, yes, it was an amazing interview.
Yeah, the interview today. And he was talking about back when they couldn't buy anything or really make moves because
how much money they had to spend.
Because Microsoft was under scrutiny back then, and so you just wonder that. I don't think it's too far-fetched or a tinfoil hat conspiracy to go. They're going to continue to lay as low as they can until this whole entire thing is wrapped up. And but
9 days or less, right? So,
but Game Pass things
like done soon.
Game Pass deals can happen, and this game just makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense on the surface, except for the timing, because it's like, why did you want to put this 1 week before Starfield?
Yeah, that's a
good. But then again,
point.
And to add to the
variety.
To add to the conspiracy, I was mistaken. It wasn't Sarah Baum who said something today, but there is the Series X Armored Core Special Edition thing that they are giving away.
Yes, which looks badass, by the way. Yeah, that thing looked pretty. Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. Damn it, Plume, why'd you say that? Yeah. I mean, you're getting my hopes up. It's probably not gonna happen. I want to get my hopes up, but I kind of agree with you, Dave. I think they're gonna start letting less stuff pass them by and let because there's this whole thought of like people just believing that things are a PlayStation exclusive because of the marketing rights and whatnot, and Xbox just can't let them continue to do that. They just can't.
Right. You know what I got to play, man.
Right.
You know I got to do it.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
I feel better.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be probably the only person on this panel that is going to purchase Armored Core day one, and I'm going to try to play it as much as possible
It does look
I
good.
only have like 4.5
Yeah, it
days
looks
to
really
do
good.
it.
I would say 95% of the months of this generation, I would have probably bought this thing day one, but it's going to have to just wait a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't blame anyone for waiting on this one. That's for sure. I can't remember. Does anyone know if this is this going to be a $60 game?
Yeah,
Or is this supposed to be okay? Because I believe Elden Ring was $60, was it not? Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't know if they raised their prices or if From Software was staying with the.
And it does have a
$60.
multiplayer aspect, which is only player versus player. Correct. That's the only thing that there is, I believe. It's not like a co-op against the boss kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think there's. I don't believe there's co-op in this. I
wish there was, but
yeah, co-op.
Because my son told me about that, and I was like, "Well, you know, I'm not getting it." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because he would do nothing but die to your hands every time we played." No, thanks. Doesn't sound like fun at all. Fun, thanks.
Appreciate Sapo. She's like, nah, to what I'm saying. Xbox needs to do now is buy Square Enix.
Square, Sega, a few things.
I'll take Sega over that, but the tiers would be wonderful, and they would be flowing, for a long time if that happened.
We're bad.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I gotta poke fun. Look, when you're in last place, you gotta mess with the other guys. So that's pretty much it for the large topics today. I just want to go over like real quick, just some news stuff, just for our audience. If anyone doesn't know these things, which most of you crazy people
I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Go ahead and repeat that. I pulled you out instead of.
Did you put me? Yeah. Oh, no, you're good.
You're back. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So I just want to go over some news stuff. So Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, the longest title of all time. It's coming with the free trial version of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, this is obviously like the Yakuza series essentially continuing. So the game coming out this November, which is Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. And the one that we saw the preview for, where he was naked on the beach or whatever, that's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So you're going to get an actual, and I don't know if this is Xbox exclusive that we just get this, but there's going to be a trial version for that game for anyone who buys the Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Freaking, I love Asian games, but these fucking titles are ridiculous. Sorry.
Ichi is probably one of my favorite new characters of the last few years. By the way, that was I don't know if you guys play Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon. The 7?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent.
It's and it was a great pickup in Game Pass too, like all the games that came through for Game Pass as well, which is great. So it's good to see that relationship is clearly still there with Xbox. And of course, I mentioned earlier the Delta Force games, which I think Silent Cypher was saying he played back in the 90s. So that's a single player and multiplayer game coming out. Single player campaign. This is the part that I kind of liked about this. The single player campaign is based on the film Black Hawk Down from 2001, which is one of my all-time favorite movies in that genre. So it'll be interesting to see if developer Teeny Studio, which I never heard of, can pull that off. And we'll see if this can compete with COD and Battlefield. But we know how well that went with Battlefield last time. Yeah. We got COD Modern Warfare 3 is going to have a new open combat missions in the game from Sledgehammer. It's going to be in the campaign, allowing the game to be less linear for these types of missions and have less cinematics, so you can approach objectives with multiple angles. I think that's a cool idea for them to do, a little more open world stuff. Multiplayer will launch with remastered versions of all 16 Modern Warfare 2 maps from 2009, with new levels to come later. That's what's got me excited. If you're a COD player, the 16 maps sounds great to me, and especially the old ones being revamped sounds good. And zombies will have a large-scale spin on the series and the PvE mode, which I'm also a zombies fan. And the last thing I got here is The Walking Dead. There's a Walking Dead game called Destinies that's going to be coming out. It's a new story-driven Xbox title based on the TV show, and it's going to be based on seasons 1 through 4 of the show is going to be the focus. This is a $50 launch game. Not like a high caliber game. The visuals are not spectacular. It's a budget game, just like Dead by Daylight and those, and like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff of that caliber. But sounds good to me. They picked the right seasons of the TV show because 1 through 4 seasons were the best seasons of The Walking Dead.
Do you know the twist for the game?
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you I'm glad you said that. So the twist for this game is very interesting. And this I'm glad you mentioned that. I almost forgot it. This is the thing that makes the game the most interesting. So it's like alternate timelines essentially. So spoiler alert, if you watch the show, there's certain people that die in the show, very important people, like Rick's best friend, where it could be Shane. Right, I'm just gonna say, Shane. It can be reversed where Shane kills Rick instead of Rick killing Shane, and you going forward playing as Shane and stuff like that. So it's a cool twist. We'll see what happens with that. If that game's gonna be successful, I can't remember when it was coming out, but it is $50 at launch, so it is like they priced it probably at the right.
And maybe it'll come to Game Pass.
And it feels like it could. It feels like it could be a Game Pass game, just like the Telltale games. All like a bunch of them came to Game Pass. Hopefully, The Expanse will come to Game Pass eventually. I definitely will be playing that from Telltale. But that's all we got.
I need to try that.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't played those? Those are fantastic. Some of the best stories.
Just the new one.
The new Expanse.
I got the key for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till they all drop because I think it's coming out like weekly or monthly or whatever it is. But the last thing I'm gonna say, just a recommendation, if you have a short period of time before you play Starfield, is try Bramble. It's a very awesome indie game. It's only like 4 to 5 hours long. It's not a kid's game. It's a lot of fun and it's very good story. It's like Nordic fables and it's a little messed up in a good way. So that's my recommendation is to try out Bramble, and I did a little review on that on my channel as well. If you want to go watch that, so that's all we got tonight, guys. That is it. Bramble is dope. Thank you, Mr. Joanna Dark. Oh, and by the way, congratulations for winning the refrigerator. By the way,
that's right. It was our winner 2 weeks ago. You won a Xbox mini fridge, our first giveaway that we ever did here at the show, and that was Mr. Joanna Dark. Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much. And he still comes back, so that's awesome. I'm just kidding. Man, it has been so awesome to have Plume Network and OneBadMutha on. OBM and Tony, thank you guys so much for being here. I bottom of my heart, man, you guys are awesome. And welcome back anytime. So hopefully you had fun and hopefully you'll want to come back again in the future because, like I said, you guys are amazing, great content, and just a wealth of information and so much fun to talk to. So I think it's great. And OBM, you made the comment earlier. You go, I'm sorry, take another show. That's what we want, man. We want you to have fun.
That's what we love, man. I love that stuff.
This is a show for you, man. You need.
No wonder I have so much fun because I can just keep talking.
Because you can do it all right. You can do your thing.
Exactly. Well, let's go to Plume first. Plume, tell everybody where they can find you and when your show is on.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a ton of fun. So whenever you want me back, we'll definitely figure out a time. I'd love to come back on. Awesome. You can find me daily on my channel, Plume Network, at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the video comes out. And I'm also on the Xbox International podcast at Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fantastic. And I do highly recommend that you not only subscribe to his channel, which is in the description below, but you hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of his content. And after a few episodes, I guarantee you'll be hooked on it like I am. And you're like, it's a daily thing for me. It's have to every day I have to watch it. So before I can really get going on my work or anything. So, and that's kudos to the work you put into it. It's always entertaining. And like I said, it's a good enough size that, you're able to get in and get out. And it's great. So again, thank you for being here. We're, like I said, we're excited that you're here and glad to have you coming back in the future. We didn't run him off. Yay.
not
OBM.
Yet.
One day. Yeah, 1 year. There's still time. RHETRI. Behave, RHETRI.
I won't say anything for the rest of the show.
OBM, OneBadMutha. Sir, thank you so much for coming back. He came back. It must not have been too bad. But
That's
dude,
right.
man, we are so blessed to have you on and love having you here. And like I said, hopefully you'll come back and answer the call again someday. Tell everybody where they can find you on Twitter and some of the things that you might be in the works for you.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, 2 for 2. Twice I've been on here. I had fun twice. So just like all the guys at Starfield Code. Although I probably would be having even more fun with Starfield Code right now. But no, it was it's great. It's great coming on here. And again, appreciate you reaching out and thinking of me, Tony. Great to get a chance to talk to you a little bit. And
Yeah, you do.
You do a good job out there. So I've noticed you in the last few months. So, and if anybody wants to catch me, I will be putting something out there in September. So that's been the plan for the last few months. Just get through the summer, and then we'll start to launch that. Starfield permitting. Hopefully that doesn't sidetrack and delay everything. but yeah, just keep looking out for me on Twitter until then. So, but appreciate it, guys, and I will certainly be back again.
Awesome. And then like I said, we'll probably have you back on after you're up and running with your new show. And what's your cat's name, by the way? Because she made another appearance.
Yeah, hey, that's Grayson.
Awesome.
Hey, Grayson.
Hey, very well behaved. Look, it's your icon right there. I like it.
Yeah. He likes to be on camera.
Meow, 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 Miss Katie. But no, seriously, thank you for being here. And then we'll definitely have you back so you can tell everybody, and we'll promote your new channel when it comes out as well, too. So we're excited for that as well. RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you. I'm going to put this in the link to your YouTube channel where everybody needs to go subscribe.
Appreciate
right now.
that.
So no worries.
You guys can find me on X. Sorry, I did that. I hate myself. Game Pass _daily. I'm doing my best right now to just get Game Pass daily. I'm doing some trickery, seeing if I can make it happen because someone stole my name. Yeah, and then of course Game Pass daily. WebDave just put it in there. I would love for you guys to go there and sub to the channel. My plan is to expand out Game Pass daily and do something like Plume is doing and do like daily videos. So I'm going to be reaching out to the community and see if there's any people out there that are okay with being on camera, okay with they're good at editing and no graphics and kind of the stuff that I do. So someone's going to be joining my family hopefully sooner than later. And of course you guys can come out and join us on the Discord that is called the Game Nights, Community Game Nights. I'll put that in the chat as well. If you guys want to play some games with us, we have a good time. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm just glad to be back, guys, and thanks for coming out. There's a ton of people out here tonight. We hit over 200. That's a big deal for guys who are just starting doing this podcast thing. So I can't thank you guys enough. I appreciate it, man. Awesome. Yes, we do appreciate each and every person that came in to join us today, and it was great. Even though I get to say hello to each and every one of you personally, I do know that we do appreciate you being here. Awesome, good time. And if you can, on your way out, hit the like button, share this out as a replay, because a lot of people do catch us in a replay. Usually hits over a couple of thousand watched after it's dropped already. So that's always good and exciting for us and helps us grow day by day. And last thing I'll say is that we're continuing to work toward getting some, more and more guests. And we do have a lot of the guests back again because we feel like they get what we're doing here. We enjoy a good conversation about gaming. It's not about the hate. It's about the gaming, because you know what? We're all gamers. Love to have you guys here. Love for you to join us. And thank you so much for being a part of Gamers Council.
Game over.